we are back with yet another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. We are back with episode 317, rocking it, as I promised, part 2 from our visit to Maryland, where we covered the 25th biennial Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association's National Conference. And it was a good one. We had a great time there, had some great interviews. Like I said, this is going to be finishing up those interviews. This is part 2 of that. But before we do that, I've got to catch up on some jack wagons and some Leadhead Brigade heroes, and I got to give some shit away because I know you guys are just chomping at the bits for me to give some more stuff away. And to help me do that, I have a very special guest from Dooley Defense, Mr. Nick Dooley himself, ladies and gentlemen.
How are we doing? I love all that studio audience applause that we get when we come in on this.
I think I'll do that. The little kids clapping for you, the golf clap.
Yay!
Yay! Clap, 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 clap. But this is going to be a really big show. We've got Mission First Tactical, we've got Medicine in Bad Places, and we've got Geisley. In addition to all that, with our jack wagons, our Leadhead Brigade heroes, Nick Dooley, and a suppressor, a silencer. I know I say suppressor. I know I say silencer. I'm one of those as far as that goes. I don't care how you say it. But a magazine is a magazine and a clip is a clip. So I don't feel those are interchangeable. What about you? What's your stance on the whole, what do you call a silencer?
You know, silencer, suppressor can, as I said before, a lot of times if somebody wants to try and get on the, I'm going to use the right terminology train.
Yeah.
I'll say, all right, let's break out the gun mufflers.
The gun mufflers. But silencers, I mean, I know what they're called. I know what they are. You all do too. And we're giving away one. So if you critique how I say it, you're not going to fucking win.
Well,
I'm not going to pick you.
And if you really have a problem with it, look at the name of the company from which we are giving it away. It is Rebel Silencers.
Rebel Silencers.
It's not Rebel Suppressors.
Yep. And it's Silencer Co.
Dead Air Silencers.
Dead Air Silencer. There you go. So we'll go with Silencers because the name of the companies know what to call them, so we'll call them Silencers.
Yeah, it's that whole suppressor thing is one of those where I don't know where that came up. That's kind of like that whole, gun shop loophole or gun show loophole they keep saying that they're going to have.
You think it's a made-up media word, suppressor?
Well, it might not even be a made-up media word. I think it's something that, some guy who's still wearing his, khaki vest like he's going to go on an African safari is going, yeah. Oh, no, you can't call these silencers because those are illegal, but this suppressor just uses a $200 tax stamp.
Yeah, maybe that's the difference. Suppressors don't cost you $200, but silencers do. I don't know. Anywho, whoever wins this, all laws apply. You're responsible for the $200 tax stamp and anything else that's local or to your state specific. Dooley's just giving you the can. It's going to send it to your FFL, and then you've got to pass all the tests for that.
Yep, that will be up to you to complete the task after the Form 3 goes through and it gets sent to your local FFL SOT. A lot of people think the Form 4 paperwork is this big scary monster, but it's not. So it's, like when I sell them here and do mine, it literally takes 5 minutes to fill out the form on the computer because I use the Silencer Shop e-form that's available for any SOT. So any gun shop that is selling silencers can use that and just auto-populate the form because they make it so you can't fill out the paperwork wrong.
Right.
But after you've gone through and said, okay, nope, we're doing the paperwork, we're sending this in, we have to decide, it's if you're going to do it as a trust or as a individual. The trust was something that before a ruling on the ATF did in 2016, which I'm not going to go down that whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, we've talked about that before on the show. Now, I thought that they had made the trust thing where you couldn't do that anymore. Has that been reversed?
Oh, no, you can still do the trust.
Yeah.
It's just now everyone who's on the trust has to have a passport photograph and fingerprint cards sent in if they're a responsible person on the trust.
Gotcha.
So a lot of people just, before 2016, a lot of people would do that because they said, oh, well, it's a chief law enforcement officer back in the day used to have to sign off saying, yes, you can have this because you weren't a criminal. But that's not the case anymore.
Gotcha.
But
you still get the trust set up. So if you have specific questions, get in touch with Nick, and he will let you know.
Yep.
Because he does this day in and day out.
Other than that, it's really pretty simple. You fill out a form, and it's not that dissimilar from the 4473 you fill out for buying a firearm. And then you send your payment method along with in an envelope to Atlanta, Georgia, where ATF cashes your check, and then after they cash your check, they send that packet of your bundle of paperwork to West Virginia, where they do the background checks.
And who knows how long that's taking nowadays?
Yeah, that's an up in the air.
What are you seeing? What are you seeing as far as turn time goes in your area? And you're in Idaho, right?
I'm in South Dakota.
How do I always get that wrong? I know you're in South Dakota.
It's because we all blend into the Great White North, I guess.
Is that what it is?
But
all you white boys look the same.
That happens. And when we get into that, it's getting into times they have, from my understanding, tripled the amount of people who are doing the checks.
Okay.
So that section has tripled in size. So
nice.
There are reports of people as low as 6 months, but I still am seeing an average of about probably 10 months on people coming in now.
So just expect a wait also. So you're not going to get this thing overnighted to you. So I'm just trying to build expectations here for people, Nick. So
exactly, you can't do that.
But we are giving away, and talk about the silencer that we're giving away. Tell them, describe it.
The silencer we're giving away is a 22 caliber silencer, and what that means is, this is a rimfire can. It's 22, so 22 Magnum, and then all of the rimfire cartridges, because this is actually rated for all rimfires. So your 17 HMR, 22 long rifle, any of those things can all be used with this.
Right.
One of the major benefits of particularly this Rebel style silencer is, as we all know, if we shot in a 22 is pretty dirty. It creates a lot of carbon buildup, and you got to break out that modded Spartan Systems carbon destroyer and break all that stuff down when you clean it.
There you go.
So the benefit to this is it's a tubeless design, so you literally just unscrew the baffle stack and everything's right there. There's no external tube for it. It's just a series of baffles screwed into each other.
And Modern Spartan Systems has a cleaning kit specifically for silencers.
Yep, and that would be a perfect use for it because 22 cans, they build up all that carbon. And
dirty.
Oh, it's dirtier than a normal can even.
Yeah.
And then you'll use that so they're easier to break down and clean. They're super lightweight, so they don't mess with any barrel harmonics or anything like that. And, it just makes everything more pleasant to shoot.
Yeah, and we've got a whole list of eligible lead heads that you may get your name called today as the winner. And just to name a few of those, Nick, who all are we looking at here?
Well, let's see here. We've got Katie, just looking at all the different posts from Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, Austin.
Yep, Austin is always throwing things out.
Always, yeah. He's always in the thick of our giveaways. Good supporter of the show.
Yep, we have J. Edgar.
J. Edgar Hoover? J. Edgar Paradox or something like that, right?
Yep, J. Edgar Paradox.
Yeah.
And then we have John Adams III. Threw some really good-looking stuff out there.
Yeah.
We have...
and I'm not eligible, so don't read mine. We got Mark Peck.
Yep.
Got Amber Peck also.
Yep. I'm not eligible either, and neither's my wife.
Right,
so.
Y'all put up some good posts. You definitely were pushing and promoting it as well.
Yep.
Big Ed.
Yep, Ed did.
Leadhead Ed approved.
Jacob as well did.
Jacob Rozecki. We got the Pew Pew RN also. So a lot of you lead heads. Jay Spill took part in this, so thank you for the participation. One of you, we're giving it away today on this show. So one of you lead heads is going to be the winner. So we're going to announce that later on in the show. So stay tuned for that. But before we get into those, we've got some jack wagons and some Leadhead Brigade heroes to take care of, Nick.
Oh, yeah. Gunny, bring that train on in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jack Wagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so the train has stationed. And, I took a little bit off when I went to Maryland to do the FLEOA thing. So we've got some buildup of jack wagons here, and we need to clear the slate. So I'm going to let you start off with the first one. Who's the first one we're going to throw on for old Gunny?
Well, the first one we need to throw on, he doesn't need any more media attention. He's caused more memes than I think he ever would have otherwise.
I know who you're talking about.
But we don't need to spend a lot of time on him. But, old Beto.
Robert
Francis
O'Rourke or something like that. Is that his name?
Yep, that'd be him. Calls himself Beto.
Yeah, Beto. I mean, he came up with his own nickname, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how all that plans out.
So as everybody's probably heard by now, he's coming after our ARs and our AK-47s. AR-15s and AK-47s.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
He's coming after him. He's going to take them. He's taking them from us. Nothing we can do about it, right?
Yep, that's what he said.
Well, what we do about it is not elect him president, for one.
Yeah, that would be the first thing.
We'll see, any public office. This guy needs to just disappear, go away. Don't give him any support on anything. When he posts crap like this, don't watch his videos. Don't repost them just to show what an idiot he is, because that just gives him attention, and that's what he wants.
And don't get on his Twitter feed and argue with the other trolls in the comment section.
Exactly. That just adds fuel to their fire. It's exactly what they want. So, yeah, Beto, Robert, Francis, whatever your name is, welcome to the Jack Wagon train. Again, I think he's made it before, too. He said something else.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah. So good luck with that campaign there, good buddy. All right, so this next one, and like I said, you guys have been sending these in, so thank you for sending them in. A couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks old, some of these, and you probably heard about them. But some of them you may not. So like I said, there's no timeline on being a jack wagon. We're going to get you on the train. So we'll go back years if we need to get you back on the Talking Like Jack Wagon train. This one is vegan sues neighbors for barbecuing in their backyard. And this was posted September the 8th, 2019, so earlier this month. It's actually in Australia, which I'm sure this has probably happened here in America too. But it says a vegan woman has filed a lawsuit against her neighbors complaining about the smell of meat and fish coming from the barbecues wafting into her yard. Oh, gosh. Australia's Celia Carden took her case to the Supreme Court of Western Australia. It's made it to the Supreme Court. Holy crap. Citing her neighbors barbecuing, smoking, and children playing basketball, among other complaints. Carding is accusing her neighbors of doing it all on purpose. It's deliberate, she told Nine. All I can smell is fish. I can't enjoy my backyard. Cardin's complaint was tossed out of court earlier this year, and she filed an appeal.
I don't even have words for that, because
I don't either.
That's what happens when they become a parody of themselves.
Right?
Like, you go, they can't go that far, and then someone does, and you go, yeah, that is, they did that.
You know what they say, reality is stranger than fiction. And this,
Yep.
this is how. Oh, I mean, this is in Australia though. This is the whole world. I mean, this sounds like something that definitely would happen in America, and I'm sure it probably has. There's been people try this, but ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And there's a video to you. This comes from WKRN.com, and I guess you can just Google vegan woman Australia, something like that. And there's a video here too. I haven't watched this video. Again, I don't like to push and promote stupidity and give these people any more attention than I don't like to give them any more attention, period. That's it.
Exactly.
Other than to let you know that this stuff is actually real and is out there. So, all right, who's our next one, Nick?
Oh, the next one came up. This one's actually just from 4 days ago, the one that I found here.
Okay.
And this one's from Manila, Arkansas.
Manila.
Brought to you by KAIT 8. They're on your side.
Okay.
But well, they just seem like the Kate at 8 would be the one saying that.
The Kate at 8.
And so burglary suspect shot after telling homeowner, quote, "Give me that gun before you hurt yourself, old man."
So the burglar actually told the guy to give him the gun before he hurt himself.
Yep. So when a Mississippi County man awoke to find a burglar in his home, he told him to leave. The suspect told him to hand over his gun. Sheriff deputies say that's when the homeowner shot him.
He's, "I'll give you part of my gun. I'll give you the lead part."
Yep, the victim told deputies he awoke at around 5 a.m. Tuesday to a loud noise at his house on East 1st Street. Stop by, say hi. And the homeowner grabbed his gun and began searching the home. In the living room, he found a man he did not know. Told the burglar to leave, but the burglar ignored him. According to Sheriff Dale Cook, began fixing himself something to eat and drink.
What the hell? This guy's just making himself at home.
And once again, he was told to leave. The suspect unplugged the television and then told the victim, "Give me that gun before you hurt yourself, old man." The homeowner then fired one shot at the man, striking him in the leg. He was taken to a Jonesboro hospital and treated for his injuries before being arrested and charged with residential burglary.
So did this guy know? I mean, does it say anything about whether they knew each other or what?
No, he did not know him.
He didn't know this dude at all.
Broke into his house and started cooking himself some lunch.
I mean, he made himself at home. He's making lunch. Probably didn't even offer dude a sandwich.
Yeah.
Didn't offer the old man a sandwich. Okay.
A little bit.
So he thought he was at Waffle House, I guess. I don't know. Get him off of Waffle. And dude showed him. Taught him a lesson.
Alcohol may have been a factor.
Does it say that in the report?
Well, it doesn't, but one could probably
crack cocaine had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Officers arrived. They found 47-year-old Charles Lancaster suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg. He was taken to a Jonesboro hospital, treated for his injuries before being arrested and charged with residential burglary. He's being held in Mississippi County Detention Center in lieu of a $75,000 bond. There you go.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I guess he could have shot him in the head if he wanted to. But whatever. Again, another one of those there's no words. I don't know what to say. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's go to our next one. And I don't think we've done this one yet or not. It's another HOA. I think this is the one that we were trying to do a while back, but the link wasn't good.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about that.
Yeah, so an HOA, for those who don't know, a homeowners association. So when you live in certain subdivisions, they have these organizations that help keep things to a certain standard, I guess you would say. We've got one in the subdivision that I live in, and they're douchebags. They've been harassing me for the better part of a year now on just ridiculous things. So I can kind of feel for this, and this comes from Pinellas County. I guess that's Florida. HOA tells Clearwater officer to move her police cruiser into her garage or face legal action. So they've actually got a police officer that lives in their subdivision, which in most things, I think even insurance companies see that as a positive thing, and it helps with your insurance costs, lowers them and stuff like that. But anyway, this police officer is facing an ultimatum in her East Lake neighborhood. Stop parking her marked police cruiser in her driveway or pay hundreds of dollars in violation cost. The first thought is this a joke? Like, this is the most absurd thing I've ever heard of, said Dan Powery, a family friend, speaking on behalf of the officer and her husband, who is also in law enforcement. So they both are. Every place that I've ever lived, if I had a police cruiser parked next to me, I felt safer. State law says HOAs can't prohibit commercial vehicles from parking in driveways, but an opinion issued in 2005 by the state attorney says a law enforcement vehicle is not considered commercial. They don't have that vehicle for the purpose of profit, Perry said. So it goes on. There's a big legal thing going on here, but it says basically that the Lakewood agrees, but says her cruiser is issued by a government agency and therefore violates HOA rules. So the HOA people are agreeing that, hey, we got no problem with it, but our laws, our things state that she can't have it. Well, I think as leaders of the HOA, you can overrule that kind of stuff and not send letters and just overlook it. You know what I mean? Apparently, they've got some hard ass in the subdivision that doesn't like police officers and is insisting they give them a hard time. The Clearwater police chief has come to his officer's defense, sending a statement late Tuesday. The actions of this association to changing the rules is disappointing, to say the least. If you are going to change the rules on them, it seems logical to provide a grandfather clause that the association will honor, not a grandfather clause they can change their mind on honoring. Maybe there are bad rules sometimes. You don't enforce those rules. You change those rules. That's kind of what I was trying to say, so there you go.
Well, I just want to know hey, you, police officer, I'm going to call the cops on you for parking your car there.
Well, it's not even they're calling the cops. They're suing them.
I know, but they're going to have some law enforcement show up.
Right,
it's all right,
to try and enforce it. But, yeah, it's ridiculous, Oh, my gosh, these HOA people, they just got nothing better to do.
You're not wrong.
So if you guys are in Clearwater, if you guys are in Clearwater and you're familiar with this, give that officer some support.
Generally, when I've seen this, the people who do this in HOAs or other small, organizations, it's the only thing they've ever been put in charge of their entire life. And they
only a little bit of power that they've ever had. Yeah.
So they're like,
it's a power thing.
Yep. And then they think they have all of this. And when you look at them,
that's exactly what the little old nitty bitty in my subdivision is. I mean, she's like retired, got nothing else to do, and is just a busybody. Just a freaking busybody.
Like drive around and look and make sure everybody's paint isn't peeling on their windows and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just ridiculous stuff. Oh, you've got a branch that's dead. You need to cut that out of your tree. Like, woman, you better get out of my yard or I'm going to sick my dog on you.
Yeah, but Oshie wouldn't do anything.
Oh, poor Oshie. He's getting on up there in age. He's over 10 now. He celebrated his 10th birthday this past July. And with those who are familiar with Great Danes, that's pretty much as far as they make it. But I mean, he's doing great as far as his alertness and his enthusiasm and everything. Still got a lot of energy, but his hips and it's actually his ankles that he's having problems with too. So
yep, I've got a 9-year-old lab that's in the same boat where I'm starting to have the hip.
Yeah,
I've got a 9-year-old lab.
I'm giving him therapy and I'm massaging, working that stuff out. They say there's some sort of a laser thing that you can do too that helps with their ankles. So we're gonna look into that. But he's a good boy. He's doing good. He's a good boy. Oh, she's a good boy.
Yep.
All right, so what's our next one?
So our next one, I'm pretty much going to throw San Francisco on this.
Just the whole San Francisco? I mean, why not?
Well, the Board of Supervisors, really, because, again, and another one that doesn't really need any more news attention than they made, but South Dakota Board of Supervisors has gone through and decided that The NRA is a terrorist organization.
Okay. So and what's a board of supervisors?
I think
what do they supervise? A board of supervisors.
The way I understand it is the way this looks is it's like it'd be like an alderman or commissioners or something like that, however they want to say it. But
sounds like an HOA to me.
Yeah, it's just the city one.
It's a city HOA is what it sounds like to me. But they passed a resolution declaring the National Rifle Association a domestic terrorist organization. So they can just arbitrarily come up and just call anybody or any organization that disagrees with them a domestic terrorist organization, huh?
Yep, because they're saying that the U.S. is plagued by an epidemic of gun violence and accuses the NRA of using its, quote, considerable wealth and organizational strength to promote gun ownership and incite gun owners in acts of violence, end quote.
And how is it inciting acts of violence? I don't think I've ever seen the NRA in any of their posts encourage any of their members or non-members, for that fact, to commit violence in any way, with a gun or without a gun, whereas Antifa, that is their whole goal, is to be disruptive, to be violent, to cause chaos. And they're not ruled a domestic terrorist organization by this board of HOA supervisors.
Yeah, where they are quite literally like assaulting people with hammers and and bricks and things like that. Where that is terrorism. I
mean, that is the definition of terror, of domestic terrorism.
Yeah,
I don't get these people. I don't get it, and that's what drives me crazy.
Well, it's because half of them live in an echo chamber where all they do is sit somewhere and parrot ideas back and forth to one another, and they've never listened to a dissenting opinion. And then the second they do, it's, you must be evil because you don't think the way I do.
No, but these people aren't the majority of our country, but yet that's all we hear about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I entirely do.
Why can't we get a conservative? I know one of you leadheads. We've got to have a millionaire leadhead out there somewhere. One of you leadheads that listens to this has got to be a millionaire. Got to have a lot of disposable income. Why not start I don't want to call it conservative, but just a logical thinking media outlet.
But we already have that.
Is that too much to think? What? Who is that?
It's Talking Lead.
It's Talking Lead. But I need somebody to get Talking Lead. What are you playing, Legos or something?
No, I had to move some stuff because I had a bunch of things fall over on my desk.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We're good here.
Yeah, but, we need like a YouTube. We need a Facebook. We need somebody on our side to start one of those services. I wish I had millions of dollars to be able to be able to do that, but I know there's a leadhead out there that has the means and the determination to make that happen.
Yep.
There's got to be.
Somebody out there's got it. I know they do.
Yeah. All right, so we got one more jack wagon we're going to take care of before we get that train out of here and honor some heroes. And this one is Giants fan threatens mass shooting after Patriots signed former Raiders wide receiver. Oh my gosh, people says.
That's just dumb.
Some people can't handle the freedom of responsibility of social media. I mean, that's obvious. It says Gary is accused of making a threatening post on Facebook over the weekend after the defending Super Bowl champion signed Brown. Who's Brown? Am I missing some of the story here? So some receiver named Brown. One of the best and most controversial receivers in the NFL Saturday.
So I know a little bit about this just from hearing scuttlebutt from it at work, but after they signed him, he was signed onto a giant contract with the Raiders.
Uh-huh.
And refused to show up to meetings or anything like that.
Antonio Brown. Here we go. Antonio Brown. Giants fan, angry Patriots sign Antonio Brown accused of making Gillette Stadium threat. So this dude wrote on Twitter or something. He says, I don't ever really post too many things, so you know this is real. Since the Patriots signed Antonio Brown, I'm going to pull a white boy school shooting at Foxborough. You might as well just hand them the ring right now. Says, if I ever get my hands on a gun, which I don't have one yet, but I'm looking, I will go shoot up random people at Foxborough. This guy's name's Tobias Gray. This is on The Truth About Guns.
So, yeah, this is one of those things where excellent example of somebody who just has the right to remain silent, but not the ability.
Right. And, I mean, freedom of speech, but then you go and you threaten to do something like that, then there's going to be consequences. And, of course, they can't do red flag laws on him because he doesn't own a gun. You know?
They can stop him from buying one, though.
It says he just really didn't get into why he's a Giants fan. Apparently, he's his attorney. All right, let's see. What else does it say? It says in the post, Gray. His name's Gray. I think I said Gary. His name's Gray. Tobias Gray. Facebook post was deleted over the weekend. Gray's attorney said his client was simply upset the Patriots were able to land Brown and did not mean any harm. I mean, it sounded pretty definite because he says, I don't ever really post too many things, so you know this is real. You know?
I didn't mean anything by this totally threatening threat.
Yeah, he was not happy about it, as I can see online. Many fans, many other football teams were not happy about it. But they weren't going and threatening to kill people. A judge in Providence called Gray's record extensive. In the report from Foxborough Police Department, it was discovered there were pictures of Gray holding guns on Facebook. Okay, so he does have guns. I guess they could hit him with those red flag laws if they wanted to. No.
That depends upon if they have them already in his state.
I don't think they need it. I mean, he just made a threat right there. So I guess he's...
Well, and technically, since they already were talking about it, anytime you talk about mass shootings, that would be considered a terroristic threat. So you could do an... What is it? Extos parte, the expedited one where you do the protection order.
Yeah. So I'm sure they did all that. So.
I'm sure I messed up the Latin pronunciation on that. So
well, I don't speak Latin, so I don't know. I thought you were speaking Dothraki.
Well, I'm sure you can send the complaint emails about the pronunciation of that to talkingled@gmail.com.
Sure, there you go. That'll work. All right, so that was a bunch of jack wagons right there. Thank you to all you lead heads that send those in. Mark, Ed, Kenneth. Who else we got? Got lots here. Hold on. Jack wagon train. Jacob sent one in. Your good buddy Jacob.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey Haddix. Jason Edgar. So thank you guys for sending those in. If I missed your name, I apologize. Some of those were repeats. Let's do some heroes now. What do you think?
Yes, let's definitely get on the heroes. So can we go ahead and bring that plane on in?
Let the ghost of Charlton Heston bring the plane in?
Yeah, let's let him pilot that craft on down to the ground for a nice gentle landing.
There you go.
Air Force One is with you, 12 miles on the ILS. X-ray 16 right final. Air Force One, contact
all right,
tower.
so
have a good day.
in one of those stories that we had, the hero, we got a hero in that story too. So the old man that shot the burglar, that came in and helped himself, made a sandwich, was going to steal his TV, and the old man shot him. The old man, he's getting a ride on Lead Force One.
They didn't release his name, and that's just fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We're just going to call him Old Man.
Yep.
The old man that showed the burglar, you can have my gun. You can have part of my gun.
One piece at a time.
In your leg. Jack wagon. So he's making the plane.
Yep. So I've got one where I'm not sure if this guy should be thrown. He's kind of on the median. Maybe while the plane is taxiing up here, we'll will let him get a whiff of the Freedom exhaust coming off those Pratt and Whitney jet engines, but maybe not quite, because not sure if he should be on the jackwagon train or if he should get on Lead Force One.
Okay.
But this is a news story that was kind of late breaking here in the last week.
Yeah.
And it was about the ATF and the bump stock ban.
Okay. Interesting. Do tell.
So the ATF admits that it lacked the authority to issue the legislative rule. So this case is not about whether or not gun control is a good idea, is what it says. And this story comes from the firearms blog. Mm-hmm. But it comes down to the ATF has now admitted that it lacks the legal authority to issue a so-called legislative rule. But a mere interpretive rule is not legally allowed to bind any third parties outside the government. By ordering 500,000 bump stock owners to surrender their devices or face prosecution, the ATF has acted in a completely unconstitutional fashion. It is high time in the federal courts to put a stop to this regulatory nonsense. So that's pretty well the way it is the ATF says.
But did the ATF, they didn't make the law, right? They're not a law-making entity. They're just an enforcer, right?
So what it is the ATF redefined
what a bump stock was.
Yep, they said
it qualifies as a machine gun, which it does not.
Yep, because if you actually read the Firearms Act of 1934, it goes through and tells you what it is.
Yeah, what a machine gun is.
It says that,
and them making it illegal based on their opinion that it was a machine gun is completely false, is what they're saying, basically.
Yep, and they said they don't have the legal authority to do that.
So does that mean that this is going to get overturned?
Well, the $1 million question to this is taken directly from the articles. Why do we care? Because as of September 18th, the ATF has written a court brief that admits it exceeded its constitutional remit as part of the executive branch. And a court filing states specifically that the statutory scheme does not, however, appear to provide the Attorney General the authority to engage in gap-filling interpretations of what qualifies as a, quote, machine gun. Congress has provided a detailed definition of the term machine gun. So the new Civil Liberties Council, or NCLA, has filed lawsuits against it with that court brief.
Yeah.
To see if we can't overturn this.
Okay. So it's not over. Not over till it's over. So I would say that the new Civil Liberties Alliance, maybe, or Mr. Aposhian.
Oh, that's the one who has the lawsuit filed on his behalf.
Okay, but he's the one who started the lawsuit and said, "Hey, this is wrong. You can't ban these based on him being a machine gun." Yep. And, so he's our hero.
Yep, he's definitely our hero, and the fact that the ATF kind of admitted they were wrong. That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, but they're not making Lead Force One. The ATF's not, because they need to be deemed unconstitutional and done away with.
Well, the ATF should really be a convenience store.
So yeah, that's a good story. So that's something definitely. You lead heads, keep a pulse on that. Keep me posted on how this I guess lawsuit. It's a lawsuit at this point. I'm sure we'll hear about it if it gets overturned. It'll be a big stink.
We'll definitely hear about it.
All right. So our next one, again, this is one of those kind of gray areas, but you got to listen to the guy's reasoning behind it. So this is from Ammo Land. I'm reading this. And it's Democrats refuse to include gang members in red flag laws. So, and I think this Republican, this Colorado representative Ken Buck, did this to show how, I guess, hypocritical that the people that are how do I want to say this? How hypocritical that the people not enforcing, but behind these red flag laws are. and their actual true colors. So on the September 10th, Colorado Congressman Ken Buck, he's a Republican from Colorado, offered an amendment to the proposed bill to create federal grants for red flag bills in the House of Representatives. The amendment was offered in the Judiciary Committee. Representative Buck's introduction of the amendment occurs in the first. All right, I don't give a f about that. People tell me what the f it is. Who cares? Red flag bills allow police to confiscate guns from people with a mere accusation they may pose a threat. In red flag bills, there is little due process. Yes, we know all this. An accusation is sufficient. No court appearance by the accused or confrontation of the witness is required. There's no presumption of innocence. To regain their rights, the person accused has to prove they are not a danger. Again, you're guilty until proven innocent, which is ridiculous. They may incur thousands of dollars of court costs and regain the property that was taken from them without due process. And they may never get it back either. I think there's some people that still haven't got their guns back. So Buck's amendment would allow law enforcement agencies on probable cause of a person belonging to a criminal gang to use red flag laws to take guns from gang members. Buck offered testimony that most murders and violent crimes involving guns are committed by gang members. The standard of probable cause is much higher than a mere accusation from a family member or other person who may have motivation to make false charges about potential future conduct. The amendment pointed out the hypocrisy of the left. The committee chairman, Representative Nadler, said, "A taking guns from a person for simply being on a database would violate due process." They're already violating due process. Red flag laws require less evidence than probable cause for law enforcement officials. They only require an accusation of the potential of a threat. Republican Buck told Tucker Carlson he was opposed to red flag bill being passed at all. His amendment was to point out the hypocrisy to show the Democrats want to take guns from people without criminal convictions, but who demand full due process for the people most likely to be involved in violent crimes. I'm applauding this guy. This is genius. Republican Buck says 80% of murders committed with guns are committed by gang members. He says over 90% of the crime committed in America are committed by gang members. This Representative Veronica Escobar, Texas, Democrat, brought up the problems of identity confusion in databases of gang members. John Lott has been pointing out the problems with identity confusion in the National Instant Background Check System, the NICS system, especially for minorities, for years. Democrats have not had a problem with that. And then it goes on. I mean, this is you guys go read this story. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It goes on. But, I mean, this is genius. This is how you fight these people. You come up with even more. I mean, actually, this was logical. It's like, if you're going to do a red flag law, wouldn't it make sense to hit these criminals with this stuff? And they're saying, no, it takes away their right to due process. Well, that's what red flag laws are doing. And this guy just made the point, threw the mic down, and said, "Suck it." You idiots.
Yep.
You idiot. You're going after people who don't even have they don't have criminal records, for the most part.
Yeah, we're just going to do this and go after it's because it doesn't fit the narrative of what they want.
It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. And bravo for this guy. So, yes, Republican Ken Buck, welcome to Lead Force One, and thinking outside the box on how to point out the hypocrisy of the left there. So, and that was submitted by Mark Peck. So, Mark, thank you for sending that in. Do you have any more heroes?
I do. I have.
Because we need more heroes. We need more people like this that we can talk about.
Okay, here's one more. Gun owner Lauren Boebert. I'm sorry if I butchered her name, but she's made the news because she is the woman that when old Beto said, "Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15," she was the one who stood up and said, "Hell no, you won't." And she went on about that and then got involved, and she appeared on Fox and Friends over the weekend and heard that he was coming to her state of Colorado to talk about gun control. and said that when she went through all this, she said, I'm sure every gun-owning American's immediate response to him is hell yes was an immediate hell no. Specifically, she took an issue to Beto holding a gun control rally in Aurora, Colorado, a clear play on the 2012 movie theater shooting.
No doubt, yeah.
And O'Rourke painting the picture, Lauren, that everyone is ready now at this point to support him. And why do you say that? Asked the host. Said, because this is absolutely false. Shame on him for coming on Colorado and expanding upon our tragedies. Those are our victims here, and he came here to paint a picture for his own campaign trail. And really, it's shame on you for doing that. We were here. We experienced those losses. This was a community loss. And
so she basically called him out on the mat.
Well, she called him out on everything, on, pretty much trying to build his campaign on the bodies of victims.
Now, I saw something, and I didn't see the whole thing, but it was an Instagram post, but it was about maybe it was that same rally that he had in Aurora, but there was a guy who was actually one of the students during that, and he was opposing him, saying, basically if we had guns, then that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. I didn't see the whole thing.
I also want to say that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this woman here owns that kind of famous Shooter's Grill there in Colorado, where all the waitresses are open carrying. She is a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment.
Well, good for her.
But while we're waiting on this, while you're looking for those, we've got the Lead Force 1 flying in, and I should note that today on the 24th, I did get a thank you that I was supposed to send to you for bringing some awareness up. Midwest Honor Flight did their 6th flight today and flew a bunch of guys to D.C. to visit the memorials.
Oh, sweet. So that happened today?
Yep, that was happening today, and then they have another one going out on October 12th.
Very cool. Yeah, you give that website again where people can go and
support. Yep, and that's just on Facebook or Google. Google obviously is, I think it's just honorflight.org for that. And Facebook for our area is Midwest Honor Flight. And pretty much if you just Google Honor Flight, you'll be able to have that pop up.
All right, so now, Nick, I think what we need to do is cut into some of these interviews from the 25th, and it's biennial. I always say biennial. That means once every 2 years, in case you didn't know. I think I say that in every interview. But is their national conference in Maryland, and these are our last interviews from that. We've got Mission First Tactical, our good buddy David over there at Mission First Tactical. Great company. They've got some new products that they're going to be coming out with that he's going to be talking about, so you guys don't want to miss that. We're going to have him back on coming up soon in an episode, and we're going to do some giveaways with some of these items that he's going to be talking about. And we've got Gosley. We've got Chip from Gosley. We've had the super suave and smooth Diego on with Gosley. But this is Chip, and Chip is with the law enforcement side of Gosley, and he's going to be talking about their new Super Duty LE rifle that they've got. And then our good buddy Tony with Medicine in Bad Places. Medicine in Bad Places, we've had Tony on before. He's the one who was responsible for getting us Al Mampry on during a SHOT Show this year. And God rest his soul, Al passed away recently. But it was an awesome interview. It was a privilege. It was an honor to have him on, and that was all due to Tony Emanuele, so with Medicine in Bad Places. But they have an awesome company. They've got awesome products. You guys can go to their website, and they do training. And they'll do it in their area. They're up in New York area, but they'll travel around and do tactical medical training as well. They've got one coming up that's actual shooting involved. So they've got a shooting course, tactical shooting and medical course coming up.
That's one of the most important things that a person can do is after they've started to get into the whole world of training and things of that nature is once you learn how to start putting holes in people, you should start learning how to patch those up. Right. Because in real life, you're far more likely to use a med kit than you are your handgun. I mean, unless you live in like the south side of Chicago. But
then you need both. But he's going to give you lead heads some special discount codes. So 20% off their store, anything you buy in their store, 15% off training. So make sure you listen to that interview to get those codes and enjoy. So let's kick these off. Nick and I will be back after these interviews to wrap up the show, give you some more discount codes, and announce the winner of that 22 silencer from Dooley Defense. All right, guys, we are back at the 25th biennial FLIOA, Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association. Is it a meeting? It's a convention? It's a national
Annual
conference. There it is.
Biennial conference?
Biennial means they have it every 2 years. We went through this last time, 2 years. We were trying to figure it out. But, joining me now, we have, and you've not been on, it's been a while since you've been on, hasn't it?
It's been a couple of years.
We've got Dave Edelman with Mission First Tactical.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man, welcome in. So you and I have been trying to hook up for a while, and we finally made it happen here in Baltimore.
Yep. Crazy how time flies, huh?
It is. And in that time, Mission First has come up with some new products, some new not necessarily services, but you've got a new line of product that we're going to talk about that you're getting ready to release.
So in the manufacturing process, we hand make all the holsters here in the U.S., handmade by vets, and there's a strip of Kydex scrap that comes off of the sheet when we make the holster.
Yeah.
And kind of funny how this happened. It was a decent sized strip, and we always held on to it, saying, we're not going to scrap it. We can do something with it.
Figure something out, yeah.
So last year, I challenged my team and just said, hey, look, we got this pile of scrap. SHOT Show's coming up. Let's figure out what we can do with it.
Yeah.
So a couple months, a lot of great ideas. And one of my guys came up with a pretty slick wallet and said, everybody liked it, dug it. So I said, all right, cool. Well, let's patent print something cool on there, and let's give them out. So brought a couple hundred to the show, handing them out.
Yeah. So as we're talking, these haven't actually been released yet to the public. So you're kind of test marking it here at the conference, but this is something you guys have got ready and you're getting ready to release. So you've got these wallets. You're also coming out with another cool product that you're using with that Kydex. It's
a everyday carry dump tray. So, a slot for your phone, keys, wallet, great for the desk, great for a night table or your hallway table.
Right.
Always know where your stuff is. Don't scratch up your furniture. And then with our decorating process, we can do low custom runs. And so you can proudly display, so here. Put
your favorite team's logo on there. You can put your favorite, I was going to say Marvel stuff, but you can't. It can't be like licensed stuff, right?
Right. So there's
unless you've got the rights to it.
Right.
Right. But I've seen some of your cool designs. You've got some cool because we're here at an LE event. You've got like the FLIOA logo. You've got some American flag type stuff.
Yeah, some blue line flag.
That's what's cool about this Kydex is the way that you put this in here, this process. Talk about this color process that you're putting these designs and patterns in.
Sure. So it's a full color process, picture quality.
Yeah. I mean, it's really high quality.
And then super durable. It's a chemical bond, so you basically have to scratch the material off to get the pattern off. So
it's like a tattoo in your skin. It's injected into the material, and it's there.
You got it. And because we do everything in-house and it's all made here, we can do super low runs. So if you have a logo or an idea for a design, I think it's 18 wallets or 10 dump trays to get started.
Yeah.
That's pretty reasonable.
So like maybe we could get some with the Talking Lead logo, and maybe the lead heads would want a Lead Head Brigade wallet or Lead Head Brigade dump tray, or
let's do it.
Something along those lines.
I'd love to do that.
Okay, all right. So
and reasonable retails. It's $24.99, $19.99. We're not asking for.
Yeah, I was going to ask price point on these. So they're very reasonable. And I guess if people order large quantities, let's say they've got an event that they want to have some cool swag giveaways or something for whatever reason, promotional purposes, you guys probably give breaks on quantities.
Yes, sir. We do. And just we heard that a lot yesterday here. Everybody's done the cozies and the pens and the USB drives and the cups and the T-shirts and the hats. So this is, it's a little different, and it's something that people would actually use. It's great.
Yeah, it's not something they're going to toss to the side. It's actually got some functionality to it. So talk about the design of your wallets here. So, I mean, it's perfect size for like credit cards and business cards.
Designed to hold credit cards or business cards. We do 2 sizes. So you can do the slimmer one, which is what you're holding. That's 8 credit card IDs or 15 business cards. And then we do one that's about twice the size. And we joke, but you get that Kydex click. So there's retention in there. We make the proper relief cuts, so it's easy to get the card out without damaging it. Or, a lot of the other product out there, you'll wind up scraping off the magnetic strip on your credit card.
Yeah.
Or,
the numbers are, it's hard to see.
Dick up your business card when you try to hand it to somebody. So you notice the relief cuts. We got like a thumb swoop. So we did our homework. We wanted to make sure that they came out easy, went in easy, and didn't get screwed up.
Yeah. They're nice. I like them.
Appreciate it.
And then those the dump trays are perfect. We were talking about at night, the nightstand. Some of the wives get a little ticked off with scratching up the nightstands, and this is perfect because it's portable. You can take it with you on trips. Lightweight, so it doesn't add a lot of weight to your baggage or anything like that. Just throw it in your carry-on. Throw some Velcro on it. You can good retention for your phone and whatnot while you're working on the plane, or if you're long trips and you're the passenger.
That's it. And if you're like me, you'll always know where your keys are instead of spending 15 minutes in the morning trying to figure out where you put them.
I do that no matter what. I could have 15 dump trays and
you just won't use them.
I just I don't know. My keys, they've got a mind of their own. They'll just walk away.
Oh, I understand.
Same thing with a phone sometimes too. I'll lay the phone down. It's all black.
Yep.
And it'll just blend in, and you can't find that.
So I have one of these on my desk for the last 12 weeks, and mainly to test the ink. We want to make sure you drop your keys on it.
Yeah, scratching and
dinging,
abrasiveness.
But it's now I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I don't have to go searching for my phone or my keys. Which at the end of the day, paperwork piles up, and
right.
Where the hell did I just want to get?
So something new that Mission First Tactical is going to be known for. I mean, you guys are known for your firearms accessories, rifle AR-15 accessories with the butt stocks. Love those minimalist butt stocks. The hand guards. You guys kidded me out with some stuff for my 300 Blackout. Gave it a facelift, lightened it up. Absolutely love it. And then your new magazines. Talk about your new magazines that you got.
Sure. So we came out with a new 5.56 30-round mag called our Extreme Duty, and just really overbuilt it. And all the lessons we learned with our original mag, which is still a great mag. We just came in and beefed it up, and there's zero flex, twist, crush. I mean, those things are rock solid.
They are. They're really good. And I was talking about the 300 Blackout. The great thing about the 300 Blackout is that everything's compatible with the 223, 5.56 platforms of the AR-15. The only thing you're changing out is the barrel.
And our mags love 300.
And that's what I was going to say. I've had some issues in the past with some other magazines not feeding as good with the 300 Blackout, but I've not had any issues with your mags on the 300 Blackout.
That's great to hear.
It's been running great. And I've been running probably 4 different brands of ammo through that too, some different loads.
Yeah, we have, again, did our homework, so we have not had any issue or any complaints, which is good to hear.
Very cool.
We're also decorating those too.
I was going to say, and speaking of customization, people who like to add their own personalization to things, you guys can do this art process that you're doing, this decorative
so chemical bond
formula you've got. I don't know what you're calling it, but you can do it on mags too.
We are, yep. So we got some cool designs up on the website, and you'll see them this holiday season out in Academy Sports, in Gander Outdoor, and Sportsman's Warehouse.
Yeah.
And then, from there we'll grow it, and we're going to do the same custom program. I think that's...
You're doing some furniture too, aren't you? Like full furniture?
We will be.
Type stuff?
Yep. So we do some dip stuff too. We do some camo dip. So you'll see cryptic and a skull pattern mags out there at Academy, and we're going to do a full furniture set with that to match it up.
Nice.
And then on the UV print process, we're playing with it. I was telling you a little bit before, dip is great. But our new process, it holds up better, but also it lets us really orient the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So dip's great for camo or collages.
Oh, I was looking for Maya. She's the regular thing. Thank you.
You think he eats paint chips?
Yeah, I think so. So the paint process.
Yep. Sorry. So I was saying hydro dipping's great. Sometimes the finish flakes off or scratches off a little easier than this process that we're using.
I think it's got to do with the clear coating that you're putting on there.
It does.
If you don't properly do that clear coat, because I've got a little experience with dipping. Our good buddies over at Dipstick Hydrographics. So I've been dipping for a few years now, and just through trial and error of my own, I've learned that a lot of it comes down to the proper clear coat that you put on there.
We played a lot with making sure that clear coat was matte. People don't typically want a high gloss clear coat on their mag, so it shines up. So yeah, like I said, it's a great process for camos and collages, but they can't ever in volume orient a pattern, and that's what
not consistency.
Yep. But this machine,
and with a camo, you don't need consistency because it's camo.
It's camo.
You don't want consistency in camo.
You got it.
Yeah.
But our new process, we can. So if if you want an American flag, hanging vertically in this spot every time, no problem.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
that's towards the end of the year. Is that when we start looking for the?
No, I think we're getting ready here. But probably about 30 days, you'll start to see some press releases, and we just got the stuff up on the website. We got our creative team getting photos.
So around October, November.
Yep,
somewhere around there
for holiday season.
Okay.
We'll be pushing them out there. For holiday season, we're also bringing in kind of more of a gift item, really outside our normal modus, but we're doing some tumblers that look like M18 smoke grenades.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they came out really cool. And probably just like an in-and-out program. We'll do import. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a partner here that manufactures that stuff.
Right.
Just to be price point competitive.
Sure.
So we're just going to bring in, a container of them and push them out there. And
that'd be awesome.
That
limited run, I guess, on those.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we wouldn't do another run at some point, but especially for this holiday season, once they're sold, and we'll take a look.
Are you putting any kind of designs on those?
We're doing one version with kind of a collage of a lot of the different 2A logos.
Oh, okay.
Out there that looks pretty cool.
Nice.
Some black and silver and green and black, and really excited for the M18 version, the smoke grenade, and we're also doing some howitzer rounds and some other pretty cool stuff.
Have a seat. Bildo T. Baggins is now joining us.
Hey, Leadheads, how you doing?
Well, you might want to turn your mic on there, Goober. Is this your first rodeo?
No, I thought it was already on.
No, you know how to turn them off.
It's on now?
Yeah, it's on.
All right. Hey, Leadheads, how you doing?
Look at that silky smooth voice.
Silky smooth. It's from all that bourbon he drank last night.
Hey, what bourbon shit.
Or I'm sorry, gin. You're a gin guy.
I'm a gin guy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that much last night after having to deal with
I wouldn't know. I don't know. We cut out early. Dave and I were good boys.
Yeah, you were. You were smart.
Yeah. We saw the storm coming.
and you...
We're not going to talk about that right now.
Right.
But,
No, it's a story for another
We're talking
day.
Mission First Tactical and their new line of wallets and dump trays.
Now that's cute.
That can be highly customized.
Rainbows and butterflies.
There we go.
So that's
you got like a My Little Pony or what is this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Unicorns and rainbows and stars. And so that's a funny story. I was out at TriggerCon and a good friend of mine, we're chatting, and he's like, I got a new pistol and I could really use a carry holster. I was like, brother, I got you covered. And again, the beauty of this process is we can do real small, limited, runs. So I went up and pulled down the My Little Pony design and told my PM, hey, man, you got to make me a couple holsters. We had some scrap left over, and I said, all right, go make some wallets with that.
Here's your wallet, buddy.
Well, we really do have to take a picture of this
and post on social media?
Yeah, so we can see this.
Yeah, we'll do that. And I want the other one, too, the
bad
motherfucker. Yeah.
So that's the other thing that we plan to do. We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
With the small run custom nature, we're going to kick off a social media program with a weekly giveaway, and we're going to do a lot of designs that you wouldn't normally see out there in the marketplace. Maybe a little edgier, maybe some cussing in there.
And if our listeners have an idea for design, can they get in touch with you and
yeah, absolutely,
and run design ideas by you and
We would love
I mean, that's the whole point is, people are wanting to, make things more to them, more to their. God damn, my phone is blowing up. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm going to have to bounce here soon. We're going to go back into session soon.
Okay, answer Sean and dude there. People want things customized nowadays.
They do.
It's all about personalization, making it
and I think we're going to
making it into their liking. So
we're going to run some contests and let people submit ideas and let them vote on the ideas.
that'd be cool.
I don't care what it is, we'll print it.
And I think you and I are running some ideas on some other things that you could do with the Kydex. If you
Yeah.
lead heads have some ideas on something, a cool idea that they could use the Kydex for, shoot me an email, talkingled@gmail.com, and put MFT, idea or something like that in the subject line, and I'll get it to David, and we'll run some ideas by him and see. You never know, your idea may turn into an actual product.
Yeah, I think you had a good one last night. We're going to do some tactical golf club head covers.
Right.
I like that.
Throw some patterns on there.
I think
Yeah.
that'd be cool. I mean,
That
that's a
would.
good practical use for Kydex.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't need a sock with a pom-pom.
Yeah, you don't need no girly man.
That's right. You need some
Cover.
Kydex, man.
See, I think
Tactical golf club.
I'm still rocking
covers.
my original, whatever the hell they're called. Club socks, whatever. I don't know. I've been rocking those since
Dick koozies. Is that what?
Very might be. Since like 1999 or something like that. So Dave,
Yeah, it's time
You're
it's
ready.
time to get into the man's world, baby.
Yeah, you got a hat for bats, man.
It's for bats. So very cool. You guys check out Mission First Tactical. It's just missionfirsttactical.com
Yes, sir.
is the website, and you guys are on all the Instagrams and Facebooks.
Yep, please go like us. Like I said, we're going to be doing those weekly giveaways here coming soon, and some contest stuff. And
Might even do some here on the show, guys.
yes, sir.
I think
plan
we're gonna
to.
do some Talking Leadhead Brigade logo items, and maybe that's what we'll do is like whoever comes up with the best idea for a product.
Send them out a care pack.
We'll win a little wallet and a dump tray or whatever. Some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe a magazine, depending on your state.
When we do have the 10 rounders. So
Okay, well there you go. That would be
those
cool.
of you who are-
I will say the wallet with the Fleoa logo turned out beautiful. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're happy to do it for you
Yeah,
guys.
appreciate you, man.
But I really love I want to touch back on your furniture that you've got for the AR-15s.
I'm gonna pop smoke. I'll be back.
Okay,
All right. I'm turning this off this
That's
time.
fine.
Okay.
that's fine.
Silky smooth Bill Hempstead, everybody.
So the ability to put the paracord, on the
On the stock?
the minimalist,
Yep.
yeah, that you can put that on there, and you can have that
So it's 7 foot of paracord.
7-foot paracord, yeah, or whatever your design, you can put on there. I mean, people are pretty creative on how they braid the paracords nowadays.
And we have a new minimalist. We're calling it the Extreme Duty Minimalist. A little beefier, a little more rubber on the back. We listened to some feedback from some of the guys over the years and just
Yeah,
decided we wanted to do something that could hold up to a 12 gauge or a 308 or a 458 or a 260 or whatever it is you're shooting.
yeah.
And that is about to drop too. We're in full production.
Okay.
Packaging's on the way, so you'll see that come out in the next couple of weeks too.
Are we going to start seeing more AK stuff from you guys?
I have a guy in my shop who I won't name
Okay.
that would absolutely love to come up. I mean, he's got a binder, like an encyclopedia of ideas
Of ideas for stuff.
for AK. So
Well, I'm telling you, man, we're preaching to the choir here, the Leadhead Brigade, but it's an emerging market now. The AKs are becoming more and more popular and in demand. People are wanting
I
that.
think more
that
readily
furniture.
available, being made here, and better quality.
Right.
And, yeah, no,
Right.
we get it. We do have some AK stuff, but it's dated. And
Yeah.
we could definitely use a refresher. And we
Okay,
got
so it's something on the kind of back burner. You guys are tossing it around. Could happen.
yeah, if
That's another thing. If companies like Mission First Tactical rely on feedback from
we love to
the
listen,
consumers.
we love to listen to the market.
Yeah,
Our whole thing is we're not going to tell you what you want. We'd love to hear what you want.
yeah. So if for them to make the AK stuff, you got to let them know that there's a demand for it. There's a need, a want for it. So get in touch with them. How can they get in touch
I
with
think
you guys?
probably the best thing to do is to just throw up a post on our Facebook page.
Facebook's, Instagram, that kind of stuff.
Yep. That's something we watch regularly, and it won't get lost in the customer service emails or anything like that. And The guy in the office, I'm sure, is going to hear this podcast and will, by the second, watch Facebook and let us know when people post.
Well, we do have the season 2 of the Talking Lead AK Corner coming up, so we're going to be kicking that off again here pretty soon, and we're going to be talking all things AK and comm block type firearms and accessories and everything. So maybe we'll get him on. Is he a buff on that kind of stuff?
He is Yoda.
He's Yoda.
He is Yoda, man.
Okay,
So
we have to introduce us, and we may have him on the AK Corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pick his brain, get his knowledge.
Next big event, maybe SHOT or what's the next one? What's the next big one coming up for you?
For us, I guess it'd probably be SHOT. Would be like we're all going to be together.
Yep.
I would think it'd be SHOT. And we're going to be at Buck Knives booth this year again. So thanks to Buck Knives for hosting the lead quarters at SHOT Show.
Isn't it crazy? It's already September.
I know. We're already talking SHOT Show. It's crazy. But then NRA is going to be in Nashville, and I think I might have convinced you to possibly show up in Nashville.
Yeah, no,
maybe in the works.
Over a couple drinks last night, Lefty here got me to fill out the exhibitor application, and we used to attend. I had a little bit of an issue with show management, and we stopped going. And
I think everybody's had a little issue with NRA's management lately, and they feel your pain. So, but it's about it's about
the members.
Them. It's about the members,
right? It's
so,
about it's about the members.
I think, and I know that your members will want to get their hands on your new products here: the wallets, the dump trays. Is there something else? Is there another product that we were?
We're doing some pepper spray now too.
The pepper spray. Yeah.
So we
touch on that.
We through a mutual friend, we wound up hooking up with the only Department of Defense approved facility in the country. Makes all the stock NSN pepper spray units for our U.S. forces. They actually developed the program with the U.S. Army during Desert Shield and Storm.
Okay.
And
good people to get in with.
Yeah, great. We are very careful about who we work with.
Yeah.
And
very selective.
Very selective. And the gentleman brought his son into the business, and they're getting a little more aggressive. And we partnered up with them to help them with the LE and commercial side. So our pitch is, we're bringing you, the same factory, the same material, the same equipment,
same quality, everything.
Quality that the U.S. military gets in the consumer marketplace for a great price point. So we're doing a lot of consumer handheld stuff, keychain stuff, and then on the LE we're doing, all the
larger size containers that you can take
2,
out,
4,
crowd control kind of.
Yeah, you saw the scuba tank.
I did.
Scuba tank at OC that shoots a 40-foot arc.
That's awesome.
That'll disperse the crowd.
Now, can you put other things in these?
Yeah, it's pressurized gas.
Yeah.
So you can.
Can you just sell like a container of pressurized gas to an individual?
If that's what they want. We got a fun video. We were working on a contract, and we had to show the big unit work. So we filled it up with water and purple dye.
Can you put carbonated things in there?
I don't see why not. What are you driving at?
I'm driving at like beer, like projectile funneling beer.
You might be onto something.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
I'm always thinking of something.
I'll check, but I don't see why not.
Or, and this would just be for like a novelty side of it, and you could do your artwork on the cans itself, and you could have liquor dispensers. It could be, a vodka, a whiskey, a bourbon dispenser. You could cut down the pressure on it, but it could still.
Right. We don't want somebody to lose an eyeball.
Yeah. You don't want to waste their, their precious
booze.
whiskey.
That's
that's foremost on the minds of people.
That's it.
What do you think about that? Like a freaking
like a 1 ounce, like
1 ounce or whatever, or even the big scuba tank one, size.
Party size.
We
got some
just an alcohol dispenser.
Yeah, we got some 20-ounce cans they call Titans.
Yeah.
Typically, the Air Force will use them in the cargo planes. Somebody rushes the ramp.
Yeah.
To hose down the area. I think that would be perfect for.
Let's talk off air on this because I've got things going for that. So
you might be onto something.
I am.
We just got back that pressure off, but I don't, because
right. That's all you got to do is back the pressure off.
You don't need a.
At that point, it's just a container, a cool looking, different container that people, could disperse their alcohol in.
Believe it or not,
and then you can customize it and put their whatever they want on it.
Believe it or not, the industry that drives the can technologies is cosmetics.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Like because of hairspray?
Yeah, that'd be one.
Like hairspray?
Yep. Anything
types of shaving.
Anything they pressurize
cream.
and put in a can, and different sizes, shapes.
Right.
Different deployment methods. It's a lot of interesting stuff. So I said, let's get the beer and booze industry on board.
I'm telling you, man. I think we're onto something.
I think you might be.
All right. Is there anything else? Anything else we need to talk about? So those are on your website also, the pepper spray and
they are
and
Yep.
and all that. So
Yes,
they can get that directly from you guys. They don't have to go to a different.
Nope.
Now, are you putting those in stores also?
We are.
Okay.
We
So
are. So you'll see them permanently in independent dealers right now. And again, like I said, great quality. I think we did a really nice job with the packaging.
what kind of price points are we talking about on the different sizes?
Oh, it's 10 to $15.
Yeah.
Just
For
reasonable.
good quality, and of course, I think it's state and local dependent too on the
It is.
laws. So you got to check your laws to see if.
Yep, and that's up on our website too.
Oh, you got all that info.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. If you have any question, most states are good. There's about 5 or 6 that there's some weird stuff out there, but
Yeah.
in the usual suspects. New York, Massachusetts,
Right.
those,
This area where we're at now,
yeah, Maryland's.
Maryland's a little kooky.
Yep.
But anyway, check them out. Mission First Tactical. David, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We're going to get David on again soon. We'll do this giveaway that we're talking about.
Sounds great.
We'll come up with some cool talking lead stuff to give out to the lead heads.
Thank you, Leadheads. Appreciate the time.
All right. We'll be back with more from the 25th Biennial FLIOA National Conference in Baltimore, Maryland. You can leave that on.
Hopefully there's no blood on the floor.
All right, lead heads. Got a very special interview with you now. Got a fellow Tennessean here joining us, Mr. Charles Dick.
How are you today?
With Geisley, not Gisley, which I was accused of calling them on a social media post we just did. But I said it properly, didn't I?
I have only heard you pronounce it properly as Geisley.
Thank you. Charles, welcome in.
Thank you very much.
So we've had Diego on the show several times. I guess you represent strictly law enforcement side of things, right?
Yes, I've just hired on with Geisley in the last couple months, and it's been to target more of the law enforcement market.
Yeah.
Geisley's always been very supportive of law enforcement. I've recently retired from the FBI, and so I got to see a lot of Geisley products tested and put into use by the FBI while I was there. So it was good for me. I already know the product.
Yeah, it's a product that you know to heart. You've actually used it in service, and
Absolutely.
you tried and true kind of deal. So it made sense you want to go to work for them, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations on your new position.
Well, thank you.
And on your retirement from the federal government.
I had a complete 9 months of retirement before I was back to work.
Maybe toward the end of the interview, you can share some interesting FBI stories with us.
Absolutely.
You're retired now. You can talk, right? You're not under NDA.
Not
or
any
maybe
longer.
You might be. I don't know. But we were introduced to Geisley's patrol rifle not too long ago.
That was that first introduction of a
couple of years.
Right.
It's relatively new.
complete carbine.
Yeah, the complete, and that, I guess that was Geisley's first introduction into the full rifle market. Geisley is known for their parts and accessories that they make for the AR-15s, and the triggers in particularly make excellent triggers. And we're going to talk about some triggers today too. But am I saying it right? Is it the patrol rifle?
It is the Super Duty LE.
Super Duty LE, the Super Duty LE. But it's gone through some facelifts and some modifications, and you're going to talk about the new Super Duty LE.
Correct.
From Geisley.
Correct. and like I say, some of this I am new to the company, but seeing it as it developed from the outside and then having the opportunity from the inside, some of the feedback on the original was that they wanted that Geisley, the SSA trigger, the two-stage trigger, and wanted a little bit different rail than what came on that original LE gun. So the biggest differences then in the two were adding the SSA trigger and then going to the Mark 16 rail. So those were, I don't know if upgrades is the correct word. More like you said, it's a facelift. It's just a different, but it was some of the preference of the feedback that was given about the platform itself.
Right. Listening to the end user.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go through some of those.
All right. So in the new, or the facelift, you do have the SSA trigger, which is the two-stage trigger, the Mark 16 rail, and basically it can come in two configurations is what we're looking at right now. We have the 10.3 barrel and the 16-inch barrel.
Okay.
So, and then obviously the rails are about an inch shorter for each one, respectively. We do not have a designated or optic for it. We have the mount so that you can put basically
Your
any
preference.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we have the mounts to help you accommodate that Geisley also makes.
Right.
We have a display of those right here, so it has everything. If you're using a traditional, an aim point style, you can put the height that gives you a true co-witness. You can go to the lower third, or you can go to the highest, which is a 1.93 height mount. So it gives you the options depending on how you configure your weapon system, the accessories you need or have to utilize for whatever the application is.
Sure. And then, of course, you got your regular just like tube scope mounts and whatnot, too, available.
Correct. If you've got a 1x6 or whatever else, we do have the complete scope mounts, again, made of the same material, so everything Geisley makes is ready to go, matches up, nicely, obviously, with the rail and everything else.
Yeah, definitely. So, in addition to and is this rifle available to the general public as well, or is it just strictly LE?
This is going to be an LE only model, LE and active military. We're trying to get it out there, like I said, to service that law enforcement community to get the best value we can get. Obviously, there may be cheaper carbines on the market, but traditionally, in my experience, what most people do that buy a cheaper, less expensive AR is then go upgrade it.
Right.
They go buy a new trigger or a new rail. So we're trying to save them those two steps and give them the
Going
one
ahead
package.
It's upgraded as it comes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, does it come with the sights as well?
They will not come with the flip up sights at this point because we're leaving those open. A lot of people, if they have or they're upgrading, they may have sights they already want. They may have the optics they already want. We obviously offer those as an accessory.
Yeah.
So if you need those, we will be able to provide
those are
them.
Geisley sights as well. So
Correct.
You guys are making the sights also. So it just made sense. I mean, you're making all these parts for a rifle. Why not just come up and design your own? So
well, and that was I think that was one of the focuses that Bill had was to be able to produce everything. So you're producing everything in Pennsylvania, so it's American made, and every part other than springs, every part being manufactured there. So you have a better control of your quality and obviously put out a great product.
Right. Now, are they going to have a civilian version rifle? Or do you know, is that out of your realm of?
It will be my understanding that there will be civilian.
I can only imagine they would. I mean,
right, available, but there will
market.
be certain things that will be restricted to law enforcement only.
Oh, of course.
Because we will try to target again, service that community as best that we can.
Yeah.
But there will be at some point a commercial version.
Sure.
It may have a different rail, it may have a different trigger, and then obviously you would have the opportunity to upgrade those. But I don't know that any of those have been finalized yet. So
gotcha.
I would be a little out of turn.
Yeah.
Being definitive on those.
I understand. They're a little aloof on his answer, but that's okay. We'll get the truth sooner or later. Let's talk about some triggers. What's new in the world of Geisley triggers?
Well, we've talked about the SSA, the two-stage trigger, which is one of the staples. And then there are different variants. You have the SSA Enhanced, which is a lighter pull, not necessarily geared for a patrol or combat rifle, but more for precision shooting, about a pound less on the pull than the SSA.
Okay.
And then we have two other variants. And the biggest difference is the trigger bow, whether it be a flat bow or a kind of a hybrid curve. The flat bow gives some people a better advantage if you have gloves on, for example, to be able to get in. And then it's also...
Well, everybody's got different meat hooks. Everybody's fingers are different. So the fact that you've got, the flat, the curved, or the hybrid that kind of falls in between. And I've tried the hybrid one there, and it feels pretty good. I like it. I mean, I have more preference towards a flat trigger. But that one's not too bad. I can see the benefit of having just that little crook down there at the bottom.
And again, you hit the nail on the head. There is a lot of shooter preference, and whatever we can do to make you more comfortable is going to make you more proficient, which then again is going to give you greater confidence, which then again is going to give you greater results.
Yeah. Did we talk about the coating that you put on your bolt for that rifle? Did we mention that? I know we talked about it during the live feed, but did we do it on the?
I don't think we did. So
let's back up just a little bit. We're going back to the Super Duty LE there.
So with the new Super Duty, it's going to have a nano-coated bolt.
There you go.
And basically, without getting super technical, it's a coating on that bolt that's going to give it a slickness. It's
a little more lubricity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that word, not
lubricity.
Me. And so most of the people that are familiar with the AR-15 carbine weapon system understand the need for lubrication and oil to keep it running properly.
Yeah.
With having that bolt there, it's just another part that is able to function with less lubrication.
Yeah.
So it just gives a greater reliability.
Try to help extend the life of it and get more out of your rifle.
Much greater extended service life for that bolt.
Yeah, very cool. I wanted to make sure we touched on that they knew that. What else new from Geisley? What do we need to talk about? Anything come to mind? Or something you want to talk about, but you're like, I don't know if I can talk about it yet or not.
Well, there are a lot of things. Obviously, always trying to innovate and look at the products that we've put out and see if there is any way to improve them, see if there is anything we can do a little bit better. So
yeah.
Obviously right now trying to function or trying to focus rather on the LE community and get these out. There are a lot of things that are always in the work. Bill's a very creative guy and always looking to see what he can come up with. So
right.
I would always say there's probably something new at the SHOT Show.
Always at SHOT, right?
Right.
'Cause everybody does the grand reveal at SHOT Show. So we'll keep a pulse, keep in touch with you, keep in touch with Diego and the gang there. And if something new comes up at SHOT Show, we're going to be at Buck Knives, the 2020 official lead quarters of Talking Lead for SHOT Show.
Well, I'm sure I will see you there. Diego said to say hi, and he encouraged me to get on the podcast.
Okay, well, good for Diego. We always have a good time. I make fun of his accent. You know, all the lady listeners start listening when Diego's on the mic.
The lights kind of go dim and turn the volume up a little bit.
Sexy music comes on. Yeah.
I'm sure Diego will love to hear that.
So give your website for all our listeners our new listeners that may not be familiar with you guys.
It is very simple. It's just www.geisley.com, and Geisley is spelled Geissele. So Geisley.com.
Yeah, and I have a trouble doing that. So like tagging you guys on stuff, I'll start off, and if it doesn't automatically pop up, then I'm like, oh no, I spelled it wrong. So
once you get it in your phone, it will auto-populate.
It'll auto-populate. Very cool. Well, Charles, thank you so much for taking the time, and hopefully you and I can hang out more. I didn't know you were in the Nashville area, so I mean we're neighbors, man.
Absolutely,
we can go to the range together and try some of this stuff out,
and maybe drown our sorrows with the University of Tennessee's football players.
Oh my gosh, don't even start that. Notice that our badges are UT orange and white.
They are. It's kind of interesting.
Go Vols.
Absolutely. But we will definitely get together when we get back. It's good to have another Tennessean around, and I'm sure we will be talking more in the future.
Hells yeah. All right, guys, we're going to be back with more interviews from the 25th Biennial FLEOA National Conference here in Maryland. Maryland? We in Maryland?
Maryland.
Psst. Hey, Nick.
Yeah, what's going on, bud?
So I think probably what most people did after I kicked off those interviews is they fast forwarded to the end of the show to see if they were the winner. So surprise!
That's not how you're supposed to play this game.
That's not how you play.
You listen to the whole interview,
and they know I'm sneaky like this too. So I'm sure some of them caught on, but I guarantee you, some of them went to the end. They're like, "Hey, he didn't announce the winner here." So that's right. We're going to do it now. All right, so let's do this, Nick. Let's do it. Let's get the silencer away, man.
Yep, and this is one of those things where this actually was probably one of the hardest things to try and decide who was going to get this, just because there were so many awesome entries.
A lot of great entries, a lot of great pictures, a lot of great reasoning behind the pictures as well. And we've narrowed it down to 2. Okay? And we narrowed it down to Amber Peck. And Amber made a post, and I read it earlier. You guys can go to Facebook. But she had a very heartfelt reasoning behind her post. You guys can go to the Facebook and see it. I've read it before. And then we had Katie Healy, who had several posts. She made several posts. So sheer volume alone, I think she actually did more than Austin. I think somebody actually outdid Austin on one of these. So it's narrowed down to those two. So with the Lady Leadheads, the silencers down to the Lady Leadheads. And how are we going to decide who wins this?
Well, we talked about this, and doing this is just coming down to a straight participation, and the fact that someone posted more than Austin.
It's pretty impressive, right?
Austin posts more Talking Lead stuff than you do.
He actually does. I should hire him as my media person, right?
Yeah, will he work for, Old Miller High Life and Stale Chips?
Champagne of beer. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. We're classy.
That's right. I actually had a few of those. We had a fish fry this weekend and loaded up on the Miller High Life. But that's another story that we can talk about. So I guess what you're saying is that Katie is our winner.
Yep, Katie is our winner. So
there you go. Congratulations, Leadhead Katie. You have just won yourself a 22 silencer from Dooley Defense.
Yep, and Katie, go ahead and send me an email at info@Dooley Defense, and we'll get that worked out with how to ship to whoever
He'll tell you everything you need to do to get the ball rolling to get your 22 silencer.
We'll get all that taken care of.
Very cool. So congratulations to Katie, and thank you all again for your participation. Listen to the end of the show because we've got still got more giveaways. We're not going to give anything else away this show, but we've got more giveaways. So we still got the X Steel Targets gong. We got another $75 Glock code and the Keltec CP33, which is also a 22.
It sure is.
It is a 22. And we're going to talk more about Keltec too. So let's get back into these interviews, and Nick and I will be right back. All right, Leadheads, we are back at the 25th Biennial Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, also known as FLEOA, National Conference here and it's not, what's the name of this town?
College Park, Maryland.
Is it College Park? We're on the campus, actually the campus of the University of Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere in Baltimore.
Nearby Baltimore, yeah. Close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I flew into to Reagan International. Is it international or national? Reagan National.
Reagan National. Yeah, that's probably 10 minutes from my house. Right
okay,
there. So
it's real close.
Mm-hmm.
Joining me, and you guys may remember the voice from earlier this year at SHOT Show when we had Al Mampry, one of the last surviving members of the Band of Brothers, who recently passed away. God rest his soul. Great loss to all of us. But Tony Emanuele is here joining us with Medicine in Bad Places. Welcome in, Tony.
All right, thanks for having me. This is great.
I don't
great
think
to be back.
We've actually talked about Medicine in Bad Places yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
Talked about your company?
Nope, this will be the first time.
Okay. So we're going to learn about Medicine in Bad Places with Tony. So, Tony, tell us about your company.
All right, so Medicine Bad Places, we've been around coming up in about 11 years now. Started in 2008 by my partner, actually, Sean Solar. So kind of neat story how we met. He's a NYPD ESU, so he's on their SWAT team. He's one of their paramedics. And we met probably about 7 years ago. I took his class out in New York. I used to be a police officer in Indiana, and I was trying to bring medical training back to my department. So working on a small
department. Are you
department.
from Indiana originally?
Originally from right outside Chicago. So Chesterton, a little town called Chesterton in northwest Indiana, about 15 minutes from Gary, between Gary and Michigan City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's small town, but close enough to Chicago, so you get a lot.
No, there's not a lot of Italians in Indiana, right?
Not at all. No, originally from Chicago, so
okay, so you're originally from Chicago.
Born there, and then moved out to the suburbs. You know, the gun law is a little bit better out there. The crime's less, and better cost of living. So
there you go. So you and what was his name?
So Sean. So
you and Sean started Medicine in Bad Places.
So he actually started it back in '08, and then I went through his class, became an instructor, started teaching with him, and then about 2 years ago, we put on our own tactical medicine conference. So first time we've ever done that. First time, as far as I know, anyone's done that. We put that on in New York, out in Long Island in January, and that was it. It went really well, and he asked me if I wanted to be partners with him, and became a part owner after that.
There you go. So differentiate a tactical medical course versus just, say, a regular medical course.
So what's interesting about our stuff is we teach people how to use whatever they have, very limited equipment, limited circumstances, just like your everyday carry stuff, whatever you have with you at the time, and how to
make
improvise.
the most of it.
How to make the most of it, exactly. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that teach this. There's PJs, there's doctors, there's all these great people that teach this stuff, but a lot of it's with more expensive high-end gear, a lot of stuff that the average person can't afford.
Right.
We teach it for, let's say you have no medical equipment, what could you use to improvise? What can you use, limited supplies that you can carry on yourself?
Different types of injuries that you may run into.
And a lot of it's active shooter and shooting and blast injuries, but it could also be,
car accident.
It could be, you're working out in the yard with some tools or, anything.
Bar fight. I think one broke out here last night, we heard.
Good to have that stuff on hand when you got a bunch of cops around too. So.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a couple of trained professionals in that crowd. But
definitely.
So you guys started this just a few years ago.
So he's been around since '08, and then I came on board in about 2 years ago. But the big thing I brought to it is I was on the board of directors for the Indiana SWAT Association. So that's how I learned how to do all the how to run a conference basically, and kind of brought in the marketing side of it, and social media and a lot of stuff that Sean's a great instructor, but he doesn't know how to do the that side of it.
The marketing side, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we kind of merged our talents together, and he's a great instructor though. You come to his class and you're gonna walk out of there and learn something. And he's got a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he's been at 9/11, he's been at every major incident in New York, so he's been involved in a lot of stuff, which. We just
had the anniversary of that, 18 years. I mean, it's hard to believe it's been 18 years ago, but when I flew in, it was the 18th anniversary of 9/11. So do you guys travel all over the United States?
We do.
I'd
say most of our trainings, New York and Pennsylvania, we do a lot there, but we also teach in Vegas, and then we do TAC Ops East and West, so we do DC, Vegas. And then we'll come to you if a department, like we've gone up to Chicago, we've gone to different areas where a department will fly us out there and we'll do training for them, and then we'll do open enrollment classes. So now not only EMS and law enforcement, first responders, we get a lot of civilians that are coming in.
I was going to ask, are you guys open to civilians too? So
definitely, yeah, and
nice.
that's really popular. I mean, and especially with your show, I mean, everybody knows the names like Glock, Smith & Wesson, Colt, all these firearm companies, but no one knows, North American Rescue, TAC Med Solutions, Combat Medical, and that's. Right. But you look at the crowd. I mean, everybody's carrying weapons. Everyone has, multiple weapons. They invest all this money, time into it. But a lot of people
don't. They got their knives. They got their guns. They got
exactly. And I think this stuff's just as important to carry.
Tasers.
To carry your TAC Med kit on your everyday carry or in your car, or, at least at your house, have it somewhere.
Now you guys also offer products. You've got a website and you sell med products. So first response type gear and kit.
So we got into that. So we were teaching our primary, what we do with our business primary is teaching, but then we also sell, we're distributors for all the major companies. So TAC Med Solutions, North American Rescue, Combat Medical, Rescue Essentials. And then what we did is we made up our own kits. So we kind of give you just the essentials. We call it it's an IFAC, but individual first aid kit. And what's neat about our IFAC, I got one sitting here.
Okay.
If you use anything in here, we'll actually replace it for you. So that's probably the coolest thing about it. So a lot of people buy these they spend their own money on it. So we want you to use this. If you have to use it, all you do is just send us a report. Police EMS report after you use it. We'll send a new one right out to you.
Very cool. No charge.
No charge, because at that point we want you to use the gear, and we'd rather have someone out there and using our stuff, and then we'll take your story and say, hey, we had somebody just use a tourniquet on someone to save a life. We'd rather have you do that than some of that stuff's pretty expensive, so guys won't want to use it.
Do you have different kits made up?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a standard one that you have? This is like your starter kit.
That's pretty advanced kit, I'd say, but that's
an advanced one?
that one. So that one has a nasal airway and chest seals, and then quick clot.
Yeah, I was going to read. So the components in this one, we've got you got a SOF tourniquet. Am I reading this right? It's small, so if I
it's basically the soft tourniquet.
You got the modular bandage, OLAES.
The Olias, they call it, but
Olias modular bandage, 4-inch. You've got a beacon vented chest seal, 2-pack. You've got a quick clot bleeding control dressing. You've got a MPA 28F with some lube. Is that the
nasal airway?
The nasal airway that you were talking about.
Nasal pharyngeal airway.
So nasal
Don't ask
passage.
me to spell that.
And then you got gloves. You got in a large size, and I guess is that like standard, just large? You put large in everything?
Yeah, we usually put large, and then if you notice, like ours are tan, so a lot of guys will carry the black gloves.
Yeah.
So what's good is you actually don't want to carry a darker glove because you want to be able to see blood. So if you're doing a blood sweep on a person, you want to carry a blue or a tan glove so you can see where you're looking. So, or especially if you're working in low light or low vis.
Okay. And what's if I wanted to go buy one of these off your website, what are we talking retail on these?
So usually we do those for $120. We could definitely we'll probably just give you guys a discount code though if you want to put it out there with the
show. For the lead heads.
Yeah, definitely.
Little discount code for lead heads.
Give you guys a 20% off. So
okay. We'll definitely, and we'll just use. I'll work with you off air, but we usually just use lead head.
Yeah, we'll do that definitely.
Use lead head. So there you go, guys. And $120, and it's for life. Mm-hmm. It sounds like anytime you use it, you're going to replace whatever you use in it.
Exactly, and there's guys.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, I just sold one to a guy the other day. He was from Chicago PD, and he's like, "Man, I used 3 tourniquets in the last month. So I mean, maybe that was a bad idea."
Right.
But, he bought one of mine, so I'm sure he'll be calling us soon. But
yeah, I was going to say I can get expensive, man. Not telling you how to run your business, but it's your business.
But yeah, it's like I said, Sean and I do this out of our passion. We both have good jobs. We're both full-time law enforcement officers. I'm in the military reserve, so I mean, that's our primary job.
Right.
This is an expensive hobby for us, but we really enjoy it. So I mean,
but what you're doing is invaluable. I mean, the knowledge that you're instilling in people, and then of course encouraging them. After you teach them how to use this, it's like, look, man, if you guys got to use this stuff, I know it's expensive. I'm gonna, I got you covered.
Definitely.
I've never heard anybody do that before.
As far as I know, there's no one else doing that right now. But
yeah.
I imagine it might get out there that it's a good idea. But we
right.
do a lot of sales with that, and the big thing with our training too, with our classes, we'll teach you how to use everything in that kit in the class, and even like that airway, I'll actually have you put that in the class. So most people use a mannequin for that because it's not fun.
So you're using real people.
Real people. So everything's I mean, we
I don't
do.
know that I want a bunch of amateurs shoving something down my throat. You know what I mean?
One time I got a pretty good bloody nose out of that, but most of the time you kind of walk them through it. But
yeah. So talk about other products that you guys have on. So you've got the IFACs.
Mm-hmm.
You do different kind of tourniquets?
We do different kinds. So
talk about the variety of tourniquets.
So yeah, that one has the soft T tourniquet, and then we have the North American Rescue, the CAT tourniquet. So that one, I mean, I've been carrying that in the military for about 14 years now. They've had that.
Mm-hmm.
Really standard one too. That's a really good one we recommend. There's a few other ones out there. Those are the 2 most popular, but we carry both of those. But we pretty much carry everything. There's another company, Combat Medical.
Mm-hmm.
They just released a tourniquet. It's a little bit bigger tourniquet, but theirs is really nice. I got one over here. It's a lot wider. And they just came up with the TMT tourniquet, so this just got approved. So
okay.
We only carry stuff that's approved by the Committee of Tactical Combat Casualty Care because it's known to work. It's certified. It's been tested in the field, and a lot of this stuff, all the same stuff here is deployed with the military. So that's where we
have you used the RATS tourniquet?
We do not use that one, so that one's not on that list.
But have you used it?
I have used it, yeah. So there's pros and cons. It's one of those things I'd rather have that than nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we teach these classes from everyone from special forces operators down to teachers, and they can all learn how to use this pretty easily, where I think the RATS requires a little more training. So yeah, you could use that,
Tension.
and then the other one I like to use, actually, I have it here in my bag, and the other one's the SWAT T tourniquet. So this one, it's basically, oh, you know what? I actually used it in my last class as a demo, but it's basically a big rubber band. It looked like an inner tube of a tire. So that's the SWAT T. That one works really well, and we've done that one on canines and
animals. Yeah, I was gonna say it works on canines and whatnot too. So you've got, what is this thing you've got everything attached to?
That thing's really neat. So a company called Filster. They make holsters, and that's the Filster flat pack. So that actually designed for holding really anything, but it's got
bungee.
Yeah, bungeed on there, and then I slip that in my backpack and put all your med gear on there,
like a Kydex or something like that material.
Yeah, they make great
it just
stuff.
Slides in and out of your bag. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's
I'll
really
take a
nice.
picture
And
of that.
Yeah, definitely. And you could put different kit on there. So like, this one, they make them color coded. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah, those are just a little variety of the products. And then, like I was telling you earlier, we got hooked up with 9line before, so they do all of our T-shirts for us. So they've come up with some really cool designs. We sell those on the website too. So those guys.
So they design the stuff for you, your logos.
Yeah, they've done a few shirts for us and sweatshirts, and it's cool because we have a pretty decent social media following online. So a lot of our people will buy the different T-shirts and stuff, and to show their support.
Speaking of, while we're doing the interview, our listeners can go and look at this stuff. Give your website and your social media so they can.
So yeah, our website is
www.medicineandbadplaces.com.
And then our social media is Medicine in Bad Places ORG. So we're on Facebook and then Instagram.
Cool. So guys, go give them a like. Let them know that you're a lead head, and use that discount code that they're going to have set up. By the time you hear this, it'll be set up. It's going to be lead head, and you're going to get 20%.
20% off. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so,
very nice. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, anything, and that'll go for our tourniquets, our IFACs, any of our gear on there. T-shirts, anything they want on there.
Yeah. So what about training classes? If they want to take a training class with you, they go on the website and see what you're offering, or they can get with you, and if they want to do like a group of people, talk to you about custom doing maybe a class or something.
Exactly. So yeah, we have a couple coming up. We do custom ones, or we'll do them for your department or agency, or like I said, a lot of it's a group of civilians, and we're doing one. Our first live fire open enrollment one's coming up on actually November 5th, and it'll be in New York, November 2nd actually. So that one is the first time we're running that. So we'll be doing live fire training, and then we'll also incorporate how to shoot with a tourniquet on, how to say when your arm's disabled, how to transition to your other arm, and then shoot bilaterally. And different things where you're moving under fire, and then performing. Cool. The teacher will see concepts while we're doing that. So,
and you're doing this in New York.
That one will be. It's about an hour north of New York City.
Okay.
So it's the Paladin Training Center. They have like a nice.
You're gonna be doing handguns, rifles.
That one will be handguns. This is our first time doing that for an open enrollment, and then we're gonna be doing a rifle one, a combo one later on.
Okay. So you're gonna actually put a tourniquet on, and then.
Yeah, then I have to shoot with that hand, and
that's
then
gonna hurt.
Oh yeah, it hurts. Yeah, if you're putting this on right, it's gonna hurt like hell. So
yeah.
But it's good, because it simulates that. We stress out, our people a little bit, put them under stress. A lot of our scenarios, we'll use role players. We'll use, the last one we did was in New York. We had a whole, we actually had subway cars that we used on. There's a fire department training center out there. We filled all the subway cars with smoke. We had a bunch of the fire explorers come out. We put moulage and role player makeup on them and stuff. And these people walked in there, and it looked like a real incident.
I was gonna say you do some pretty realistic training scenarios. So.
Yeah, we try and stress them out so that way when they see this in real life, they'll know what to expect, and they'll at least have some kind of idea.
Do you do the firearms incorporate the firearms training with the civilian courses?
Yes. So that one coming up in November.
That is a civilian.
That'll
course?
be the first one that we're doing with civilians.
Okay.
The rest of them have all been with law enforcement.
So the firearm laws in New York, how does that work with what you guys are doing?
So yeah, it's so they're pretty strict up there, but they have the place that we're doing it actually is a range already, and they have all the permits for all that stuff. So with that, we really haven't had that issue come up since it's a pistol class. I think with when we're doing the long gun, we'll probably move that over to Pennsylvania or another state that's a little more friendly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the reason I was asking if somebody came in from out of state and that they were bringing their handgun, flying into Baltimore or Maryland, I mean, there's not a reciprocity here, so I couldn't bring mine even though I got a permit.
So you could have it, but to carry it around. So you could fly. There's a federal law that allows you to fly, take it anywhere, but then to actually carry it on you, unless that state's reciprocal. Yeah, then New York's not friendly for that, unfortunately. Okay. I mean, even being law enforcement, I've gotten held up in New York before. It's not a friendly place for that.
But this range will have, I guess, if somebody wanted to come in, they'll have the firearms there, and they can.
Oh, definitely. If somebody need a weapon, we have all that stuff, and they have them there too, so we can hook them up with that.
Okay, cool. So that's good to know as far as the flying, because I couldn't carry it, but I could bring it into the state. I could fly in, and then I would have to, I guess, keep the ammo separate from the
and have it locked in a case.
Have it locked in a case if I was going to be moving around the city or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I fly pretty often with mine. We go to a lot of the tactical training conferences, and I was just in Orlando last week or a couple weeks ago for NTOA, and we go to a lot of these conferences. So I haven't really had too many problems.
Yeah.
But
well, if it's a state that I can, it's reciprocal, I'll definitely take mine and I'll carry. But I just didn't bring it here because I know I couldn't carry. So.
Oh yeah, no, I understand, and that's one of the things in our class. Like we recommend. We're very pro Second Amendment. We want everyone to carry weapons and carry medical gear. It's the same thing, but that's what we get on people about. We'll have people in our class, and you'd be surprised the amount of law enforcement that actually doesn't carry off duty. And we'll say, hey, you guys are trained. You have a weapon.
Right.
Why are you not carrying this? There's a lot of civilians that would
carry it all day long. I carry it when I'm off duty.
Yeah, I mean, and
there's all those excuses.
There's tons of people that would love to have that ability to do that.
Sure.
So why would you not take advantage of that? You have that position, and
like where we are now. I mean, all these guys are federal law enforcement, and they can carry anywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
So
I'm federal, so we're same
You're
thing.
Federal
so,
too, so you can carry. Yeah.
So I mean, every time 99% of the time I'm carrying, but and same with Sean, he's the same thing, but it also goes with the medical gear. I mean, I pulled this out of my backpack. That's always in there. I mean,
right.
I have this stuff on me.
Do you have a personal kit that you carry on your body?
So we do. I don't have it with me right now. We did develop an ankle kit that we have. So there's
talk
a couple
about
of those are pretty neat. It's basically kind of the premise of an ankle holster, and that'll carry your tourniquet, your quick clot, and also a bandage on there. So you could put a compression bandage on there, and that's nice too. Actually, literally, as you came up to my booth, I was emailing a teacher from my old high school that emailed me about purchasing one of those, because a lot of people now. In the schools, they want to have this kind of equipment there. So we've actually done some training for some schools. The schools, I'll be honest with you, we don't really mark up any of our stuff. It's more of we just like to do that because the
public service kind of thing.
Exactly. So yeah, I've outfitted my nephew's school down in Florida, and
sweet. My
old high school, I donated a kit to them, gave them a bunch of training. So that's something that we just do. It's something we like to do.
That's
for
awesome.
People.
That's awesome. Medicine in Bad Places, Leadheads. Check them out. Facebook, Instagram, and of course their website. Use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 20% off your purchase there. And then, like Tony said, on their IFAC, is it just the IFAC? If they use anything in that, that's the one you're replacing?
Yes,
or do they use anything?
So, just the IFAC. So the IFAC. So either IFAC.
Let's clarify that.
But yeah, I mean, the IFAC it's just a good thing to have, because that's going to have everything you would need in there. And then, the biggest thing too is we'll recommend it. It's just like buying a firearm. You're going to buy it, go out and train with it. So if you're going to buy a kit, come out, take one of our classes, learn how to use everything in there, because you'll leave that class with a good knowledge of how to use that.
And what are we talking as far as price-wise on your classes? I don't think we discussed
that. They're not bad, actually. So our class is normally $189 without the IFAC kit for 8 hours of training, and then we throw lunch in there. And then usually with the kit in the class, it's about $250, depending on where it's at. But pretty good prices for what we do.
Is that like a 1 day, 2 day course?
It's a 1 day. So we do a 1 day. There is a 2 day course as well, but that's if you're ready to have like medical training. It's a little more advanced. So that's how you cut into the throat to do the different airways there.
Now, are you the guinea pig for that too?
No.
I'm looking for stitches on your throat.
We use like a pig trachea for that. So, but yeah, there's a little bit more advanced how to do a needle decompression.
Right.
So a little bit more advanced stuff, but good training though. If you have the medical background.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony, thank you so much for taking the time to be on. It's great hearing about your company, and thank you for offering the discount to our listeners. I know that a lot of them will be taking advantage of that, and And guys, definitely looking to getting a course with Tony and Sean. Maybe get them to come out to your area, get a group of people together, because this is the type of training that you're going to need. Yes, with your firearms, train, but you're going to need medical training far more often than you're going to need to use your firearms. So get that medical training. Definitely.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Marty.
Yeah, bud. Appreciate it. Well, Medicine in Bad Places. Check them out. All right, so that does it for our interviews from the 25th FLIOA National Conference. Great lineup there that we had. There was some other companies that we weren't able to get on while we were there, and we're going to try and get them on at a later date. Buck was there. Buck Knives was there. They sold a ton of knives, whether they were doing like a special 50% off on the knives that he brought, and he did a custom FLIOA just for that conference where it engraved their logo, and CJ Buck actually hand-signed. You can see that. I'm showing Nick this knife right now, and I posted some pictures on Instagram while I was there. 150 of these that he hand-signed himself.
Now that is awesome.
Yeah, so I got one. I was lucky enough to get one, but they sold out of those quick. There weren't any of those left, and then he had a bunch of other knives. They had their new line of Pursuit hunting line of knives. Sold a lot of those, but check them out. Buck Knives, great supporters of the podcast. We're going to be in their booth again next year, 2020 at SHOT Show. So I expect Dooley and the gang.
We'll be through and the man on the street again.
There we go, my men on the street. Very cool. So take advantage of those discount codes. First Tactical hit you guys up with one in part 1. So you go back and you can listen to that, but I'll give it to you. It's FLIOA, FLEOA. That's a code that they had just set up for FLIOA, but he went ahead and extended that to Talking Lead listeners as well. So you lead heads, you're going to get 25% off anything from First Tactical. And they're going to donate an additional 10% to FLIOA just by using that code.
That is awesome.
So you and I were talking a little bit off air, and you were talking about how much of a, I call it gear queer. I'm a gear queer. I've said it before. Don't mean anything derogatory, by that.
Oh, yes. The geardo, gear queer, however you want to say
gear
it.
Queer, whatever. And First Tactical has a ton of stuff. They've got everything from bags, apparel. They've got knives now. They've got flashlights, all kinds of cool stuff. That 25% discount code. I guarantee you're going to find something that you got to have, and that's 25% off is going to be huge. So
definitely. And I know that in my household we have a bag and pack problem.
Yeah.
I guess it's only a problem if you say it is.
If you admit to it, right?
Yeah.
Man, I've got bags still in the plastic that I haven't opened. It's like I'm trying to wear this one out so I can get to this one, And
then I'm like, oh, but that one looks so awesome. Or this will be really good for this one situation I need to use it for every 6 months.
Right. Or, this would make a great gift for someone. But it's too cool, and I don't want to give it away.
I understand the pain.
You know the pain. You feel my pain.
I do.
And then, of course, Medicine in Bad Places just hit you guys with another awesome discount code exclusive to you lead heads, and it's Talking Lead. So if you use Talking Lead, you're going to get 20% off any of their products that they sell. Go to their website and put that code in. And remember, on their IFAKs, if you use anything in their IFAK pack, they're going to replace it at no additional cost to you.
You know what? And that's
unheard of.
Huge.
It's unheard of. It's crazy. And they're only like $120 as far as the IFAK packs go anyway. And then Talking Lead 15, that's going to get you 15% off any of their training courses. So go to their website, see their schedule. Like I said, they've got a shooter's class coming up that they're going to implement some tactical...
Some TCCC type stuff, tactical casualty combat care.
Yeah, so what they're going to do is they're going to put like a tourniquet on your leg or your arm, and then you got to go shoot with that tourniquet on. So it's going to be pretty cool. So they've got those classes. They've got other ones. If you want them to come to you, get in touch with Tony and they'll work something out. If you've got a group of people that you want to train, civilian, if you're law enforcement, if you're military, they do it all. So get in touch with them and use Talking Lead 15% off training. So, I mean, I'm pounding the pavement for you lead heads to get you these awesome deals from these companies, and I expect you to take advantage of those. So use them or we lose them is how the old saying goes, right?
I believe that is the common vernacular.
So that being said, ASP USA, the dual fuel flashlights that I've been trying out, they sent me several of those. I've been trying those out. They gave away 3 of those. 3 of you lead heads were lucky enough to win those. 20% off any of their lights or light accessories, lead 20. So go and use these codes, or I'm not going to get them anymore. They're not going to give them to me if you people aren't using them. And I mean you people. Is that derogatory when I say you people?
I don't think so.
Sometimes that's a human resource issue. But you lead heads, use these codes. Get your family, your friends, your buddies, listen to the show. Use these codes. Modern Spartan Systems, TLCP 15% off. 15% goes to Camp Patriot. So another one where you're getting the benefit of it, and your purchase is going to help an awesome nonprofit organization that helps our military men and women. TLCP 15, Modern Spartan Systems, 15% off, 15% goes to Camp Patriot. Just like First Tactical's giving 25% off, 10% go to FLEOA. And then don't forget our Toxic Man interview that we did a couple episodes ago. They've got a giveaway that they're going to be doing. I guess it's on their 3rd podcast, I think is what they said. I'm supposed to be on that. I don't know. I haven't heard from them. So I may or may not be on that, but they're going to be giving away a mug or something like that. Some sort of...
They're engraved aluminum beer mug or beer cup, something like that.
Something pretty cool. So make sure you guys go check them out, the Toxic Man, and then stay tuned because we've still got the X-Steel Targets Gong, the Glock 75 code, and the Kel-Tec CP33 to continue the Talking Lead 300th episode celebration. And that'll wrap it up once I give that stuff out. That's all I'm doing for that promotion.
But it really has been like a summer of winning.
Right? I mean, we're always giving stuff away here. Always taking care of our listeners. And all I ask in return is that you take care of our sponsors, our friends of the show, our guest. Go and show them love. And how do they show people love in this day and age, Nick?
Well, generally how you show people love the most way that people want it isn't even by like a hearty handshake and a hello. It's by going and following them on social media and engaging in all of their posts, liking, comment, and sharing.
Right. And like I said last episode, with our community, the 2A community, people who love their Second Amendment rights, their Constitution, their country, they're really choking us down on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and it's harder for us to get our message out, even though we are the majority of America. This is what you want to hear. This is what the majority of the people want to hear is what we're talking about and what we're giving out. They're choking us down because they are the minority, but yet they have the most control over, our social media. So the only way to combat that is for you guys, the lead heads, the lead head girls, guys and girls, go out and support our sponsors, our friends of the show. Repost their post, like their post. Tell your family and friends to go and do the same. Same thing with the podcast. Thank God, iTunes and iHeartRadio hasn't started doing this yet, but I see it coming. I think it'll probably we'll see that at some point in time. But for our Facebook, our Instagram, like our post, reshare our post. It means a lot. So that helps with our sponsors. That helps us get more sponsors, better sponsors. It helps us get these discounts. So as they're seeing that these discounts are being used and people are actually enjoying them, they're going to give us more and better discounts and giveaways and stuff like that for the show. But I need you lead heads to show them that you're hearing and that you are enjoying and that you really appreciate what they are doing.
Yep. The more you like and share, the more those algorithms start moving more towards our side.
That's right. And you can't hide those algorithms, can you? Are they like statistics? Can they be padded? Can algorithms be padded? I'm sure they probably can somehow. Manipulated.
I mean, probably, but that's by people way smarter than me.
And as you probably noticed, if you're one of those types that fast forwards to the end of the show, we haven't given anything away yet, have we?
You know, we sure haven't.
Hint.
They're going to have to find it.
So there you go. So that being said, Modern Spartan Systems, go and show them super, super duper love. Sponsored the show for, I don't know how many years now. I mean, we've been doing this for 7 years, but they've been a part of the show pretty much since we started. Always been supporting and showing you lead heads love. ModernSpartanSystems.com. Use that discount code. Keltec,
leaders in firearms innovation as they come along with great new products. Always something exciting coming from them.
And speaking of, they just came out with a new 22. It's the P17. It's their 22 LR Compact. So just off the heels of their CP33, which absolutely love that CP33, in which we're going to be giving one of those away.
Yep, that new pistol looks really interesting because it's in the same vein of that like MFT Compact or the Ruger SR22.
Yeah.
And that smaller compact sign of, you know, what you might call a grown-up 22 or a trainer 22 to use at a place where, you know, it's about the same size as a lot of your carry guns.
Yeah.
Then you can shoot that inexpensive ammo. But with the difference of that is, well, you know, it's, well, people call 22 a mouse, you know, it's a mouse gun because it's just a 22. You know, nobody wants to leak one, but the fact you have a 22 in that same size that holds 17 rounds, I mean, that's amazing because they use that same technology they used from the CP33, making that magazine work in such a small frame.
Right. And it's also suppressor or silencer capable. It's got a threaded barrel, so you can put a silencer on it. And it's really compact. And the best thing about it, it's MSRP is $199, so you can pick them up for cheaper than that.
Yep, it's this is going to be a great thing to have.
Yeah. So the P17, check it out. Have you seen the CP33 with a silencer on it? It looks completely badass.
I mean, I'd say it looks like something out of a science fiction movie, but most of those guns don't look that cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. So I'm excited for one of you lead heads to win this. We haven't told you how to go and do this yet. We're still it's going to be like our last thing that we give away. So we still got the gongs to go, and we got the Glock $75 gift code. I'll be telling you how you can participate to be eligible for those coming up soon, but not this episode. Is that everything? Oh, and then I've still got Safariland discount codes, 40% off Safariland. So if you want to go to Safariland and get you a 40% discount, big fat discount on your purchase, and a lot of you, I mean, I've given hundreds of these away already. I've only got a few left. I'm showing Nick here. Just got like a half a stack of these left, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe 50. I don't know. There's probably not even 50 there left. But
that 40% off is a huge discount. That's one of those, like, if you're thinking about getting into competition shooting or something like that, like those kits that they make are amazing, and that's what some of the best guys in the industry or in the competition world run that gear.
Right. I mean, they've got good quality products, and they've got a full line of different things there too. They're not just holsters.
Yeah, it's not just competition gear. Or they have a lot of it. I personally run a Safariland double belt system.
Oh yeah?
Yep, I have for years now. I've run a Safariland double belt system. When I first started getting into competition shooting, that's what I picked up, and I've used that for 5 years now.
They do body armor. I didn't know they did body armor. I don't know if they'll sell it to the private sector.
Yeah, they do a little bit of everything. That Safariland group has some amazing products.
Comms and hearing protection, holsters and gear. They've got pouches, cases. They've got belts and keepers like you were talking about, mounting systems, gear bags. They've got some lighting, knee and elbow pads. I mean, they got a whole line of stuff here. So to go check them out, Safariland Group. And if you see something there, you're like, ooh, I want that, get in touch with me. And, I mean, while they last, I just sent one out again today. It's 40% off. And that's thanks to our good buddy Keith Garcia. He was on a few episodes ago, and he was generous enough to give us a whole big. I mean, it was several hundred of these things. So, I mean, I've been giving them out like candy, and we're just down to a few more. So, get in touch with me, talkingledgmail.com. If you want one, just say I'd like to have a Safariland code, and I'll hook you up. We got some events coming up. I know the Iraq Veteran YouTube shoot's coming up in October. Don't think I'm going to make that because I'll be coming right off the heels of that hunt in Texas with Sheepdog Impact Assistance. We're taking some Vietnam veterans out for a hog hunt, so I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know the temperature really of doing interviews with those guys. I'm just going to go hang out with them. I'm not going to be doing interviews, probably do some pictures and stuff like that. But after I get to meet them, and if they're cool with it and they want to do, come on the podcast, I think it'd be cool to get them on and just talk with them. And then we've got another event with Century Arms, Nick, coming up. It's going to be a media-only event, so if any of my media friends are out there listening, it's going to be the week of the 17th, October 17th.
Are you going to play with that Visca more?
They've got, of course, Century also handles Canic. So
Yep.
there is a new Canic coming out. We're definitely going to have that there. It's going to be before the Iraq Vet shoot. They're going to Iraq Vet, but they're going to stop in Nashville first, and we're going to have an opportunity to shoot that, and they're going to bring some of their Century Arms stuff too. So I can't say what all, but we're going to have bang bangs there. We're going to be shooting. There's going to be food. There's going to be drink. There's going to be a good time had by all, and it's going to be.
Canic is
in
one of the most underrated pistols around there. Really, if you want to get a high-quality striker-fired handgun, Canic might be the best entry-level option out there.
Yeah, and I think this is probably just as good time as any to go ahead and announce it, but Century Arms is the new sponsor of the Talking Lead AK Corner.
What?
Yes, Century Arms. Been in talk with them. Our good buddy Adam Ranalla, who used to be with Palmetto State Armory, is now over at Century Arms, and they have stepped up to be the presenting sponsors of the Talking Lead AK Corner. So
that is awesome.
We may or may not be doing some AK Corner stuff during that week as well. So for all those who have been chomping at the bit, who have been at me, when's the AK Corner coming? When's the AK Corner Season 2 coming? It's coming. And it's going to be awesome. So we've got Century. We've got we'll probably talk a little bit about some Canic stuff, but we've got Jim Fuller's going to come back. We've talked to Jim Fuller. We're going to have some new people on, but it's going to be another 12 episode season, and we're going to be giving stuff away every episode. So
that is awesome.
So there you go. I'm getting the cat out of the bag. I may be premature. Adam may have wanted to come on and do it, but I can't wait. I can't wait any longer. I've been holding this back too long.
Well, October, you're getting closer and closer into fall, and as we all know, fall's when PSL starts coming out, and I'm not talking about pumpkin spice lattes. And
also, Occam Defense is stepping up as one of our supporting sponsors. And there'll be some more that we can make some announcements on. But our good buddy Brian over at Occam Defense, that 1775, which mine should be coming any day now.
Yep, I see they are shipping rifles now, so that's a huge accomplishment. All the things those guys have done over there, they've been putting in time and work like no other. Yeah. Brian is definitely a hard worker, smart dude too. So we'll be getting him back on the show, and lots more. So for the AK Corner, if you've got guests that you would like to have on the AK Corner that you want to hear from, if you've got a certain topic that you want us to get into to talk about, talkinglead@gmail.com, AK Corner Season 2, S2, something along those lines. And like I said, just like we did last time, if you were listening, if you're participating and you're being involved and you're being engaging with us and our fellow lead heads on the social medias, then that's how you get eligible to win stuff. So might as well go ahead and start now and padding your stats, so to speak. All right, so that's it, man. I wanted to get that out.
But that's it, man. Nick, thank you so much for all the support that you've given the show over the years, man. I really appreciate it. Probably one of the most fortunate things I ever did was run into you. It was at NRA, right?
No, first time I ran into you was at SHOT Show.
Was it SHOT Show?
4 years ago. It was the first year you didn't have the secret room.
Okay. And it was at a restaurant. I was at a table over here. You were over here. I was dead tired. And
and then
I heard that big bolstering voice.
Yep. My wife was sitting there going, "Are you really calling him out?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like a Mexican restaurant. We were the only 8 people in there, and
I know it was your table, and it was our. Y'all were sitting in a booth, and then we were like sitting over here at a like they had to pull some tables together for us, but and you had your big cowboy hat on.
Yep, that's pretty much a standard anytime I'm not in the house.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, but thank you so much, Katie. Congratulations on the silencer and Leadheads. I mean, we're always giving stuff away, and I try to make it exclusive to our listeners. That's why I don't tell on when I do these social media posts. I'm not saying, hey, use this discount code or this is what you got to do to be eligible for this giveaway, because I want listeners to be rewarded for listening to the show. So that's kind of, I mean, I could get a lot more participation if I just hit everything up on the social media and said this is what you got to do. But I don't think that's fair to the people who are actually listening. So for now, we're going to keep doing it that way. So as long as you guys are participating and being involved and showing the love, we're going to keep everything the way it is. There you go. Nick, any parting words for your fellow Leadheads?
I don't have any today other than the world we live in is always, always an interesting place to be, and we never know what's happening next. So make sure you get some training. Train
with your firearms, get medical training, learn math. I mean, whatever. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
You'll learn math so you can attack those algorithms for us.
That's right. But any questions, talkinglead@gmail.com. Your jack wagons, your Leadhead heroes, send those in. Always love hearing from you Leadheads. Nick, again, a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for the giveaway. I know our Leadheads appreciate it. Go show Dooley Defense some love. Have him out. Have him train you. Nick does training. Give him your contact info.
Yep. Easiest way to get a hold of us is either through Facebook, which is facebook.com/Dooley Defense. Oh, it's just Dooley Defense across all the different social medias. I guess we don't do Twitter because who does Twitter? But
I don't. I mean, it automatically posts to Twitter. So.
And then info@DooleyDefense.com is the email to get a hold of us, and we'll help you out any way we can.
There you go, Leadheads.
So that does it for another episode of the Talking Lead Podcast. As always, until the next episode, Leadheads, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer, and use those discount codes so we can get more.